Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to episode 18 of Casual Rage. Getting up there. How are we all today? I hope we're all doing well. We definitely... Oh, whoa, I got playback again. That always happens to me. I hope we're all doing well. Yes, The Mandalorian. We had the final episode of season 2 tonight, or today, this morning. Oh, I don't know. Wherever you're from, wherever you are. And I'd like to just, first of all, welcome all my guests. We have Stig Kenobi. Welcome, Stig.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm quite well.
Can you give me the Kenobi hello?
Hello there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see who we got next. We got Tim, Open Airlock Policy. How are we?
I am great. How are
That's
you?
good. Everybody sounds so excited. So excited to talk about this episode.
Oh, my chest hurts from laughing, so that's all. So.
There was a few laughable moments. We'll get into that, and I do want to preface this stream very shortly, but let's just keep going. The Geek Blend, Jeff, how are we this morning?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm ready to talk about this. There's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to cover.
There is. We'll get into it very soon.
Thanks for having me, dude.
No worries. And, of course, semi-bisexual Tuscan Bob, a.k.a. Lost Jedi 22, a.k.a. Greg. How are we this morning? Okay. Good to see that you're here. Thank you very much for coming. And
he's probably using the Tuscan Raiders sign language.
Most likely.
Sign language. All right. Anyway, we'll wait for him.
No, I just had my microphone muted. Sorry.
There we go. That's much better. How are we?
I'm fine. I'm ready to spoil the fuck out of this dumpster fire.
Very, very good.
Yes.
All right. Now, before we do go into this, nothing's going to change about Casual Rage. We are going to be going through the episode, and we are going to be nitpicking, and we are going to be breaking it down. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch. But we're not going to change anything about what we do on Casual Rage. As much as I enjoyed seeing a certain part of this episode, which I'm hoping everybody in the chat has seen this episode by now.
Spoilers.
There is one bit that really was awesome to see, but it doesn't stop us from criticizing, and it doesn't stop us from breaking it down and going through some of the bad points that were in this episode. Because as I said in my review, the first 2/3 of this episode, I didn't think were that good. Anyway, let's quickly go through the chat, and let me just say hello to some people. We've got Lord Vader, we've got Curtis, and it was definitely the Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight that we deserved. We should have got it in the sequel trilogy, to be honest. Blake is here. Congratulations, Rhino. Thank you very much for the congratulations. Daniel, night all. Are you going to bed, or are you saying like good night, hello, because it's night over here? I don't know.
Good question.
Boom. Lyndon's here in the house. Who else have we got? Timon. Now, is it Timon or is it Tim and Flip? I heard Tom call him Tim and Flip. Timon Flip? I don't know. Timon. We'll just go with that. Hello, Curtis. That's a new name. Thank you for coming by. We have Terminus. Hello, Terminus. Jade Shadow's in the house. Mara, would you like a link? Would you like to come on? Have you seen the episode?
She doesn't watch the man.
She hasn't seen it by now.
It's a good thing to just unleash her on Disney Star Wars anyway, though.
We've got Gordon here. We've got some new names, which is cool. Becky. Hello, Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Hello, everyone. All right. Let's... before we do, actually, I'm just going to let everyone know I got a concussion this week. I'm not feeling so good right now. I got smacked in the face with a 20-kilo box while we were unloading a truck at work. I didn't go to work for 2 days. My neck and back is really sore, and I do have a little bit of a headache. And I really shouldn't be sitting in front of a screen. But I definitely couldn't help. I mean, it's the season finale. How can we not go through with casual rage for the season finale? So, and excuse the semi-black eyes as well. Although I'm always black. Let's go around the table and get everybody's just general thoughts on the episode before we start getting into spoilers and things like that. So, Stig.
I've just seen a couple of scenes.
Okay, so you haven't been watching The Mandalorian, have you? You've just been...
I've been enjoying the EU.
Very good. I've been enjoying the EU too, must admit. I'm going through my second read of Shadowhunter right now, just so that I make sure that I've got a lot out of it.
I watched both seasons of Faulty Towers, though.
Okay. Very good, very good.
It was less ridiculous than The Mandalorian.
Well, that's not hard. It's not hard. Like, The Mandalorian... Again, there's going to be a lot of praise out there for this. But when you do step back and step out of it, it falls apart. So, Stig, based on what you did see, your thoughts? Just your general thoughts?
Isolated, that Luke scene wasn't bad. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you got to see Luke kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, he did it against the Dark Troopers, which are two of them would have probably killed him if they had done the Dark Troopers right. Because they're pretty much the T-1000 of Star Wars. You know, he'd be toast. Sadly, they got reduced to to this time period's Roger droids. That was the downside, but seeing Luke, swing his lightsaber and all that, and his entrance was good,
Well, I had a theory on the Dark Troopers. We were talking about it backstage, and we'll when we get to that bit, we'll sort of I'll give what I thought might have happened, and again, you kind of shut that down pretty quick, but we'll get into that for sure. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, it's okay. I thought. I saw the Boba Fett exchange with Bo-Katan and the other lady, and how was that scene not the same as when Poe was being chastised by Leia and Holdo in The Last Jedi?
The answer is it wasn't.
The one thing that I found about that scene that was so weird was the fire bit. Like, they both lit their fire things at the same time, and it kind of just... Like, I don't really know how that would have worked.
Yeah,
if they had done
fighting fire with
how
fire.
fire works. Like, if they had have done that, they just would have burnt each other. The fire doesn't just hit each other and just stay in that spot. Anyway, again, we'll get into the breakdown very, very soon. Tim, did you see the episode?
It's space fire.
You saw it?
Fire with
the whole
fire.
thing?
It's space fire.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I was.
General
I'm going to
thought?
be honest. I was laughing like throughout the thing with the whole. Let's go back on Boba Fett being a Mandalorian. Let's do a tornado DDT in a fight, which is probably one of the most impractical moves, quote unquote, you could use in a hand-to-hand fight. Just because Sasha Banks is a wrestler, so he got cucked out a little bit in that exchange. And then Luke was what he was. I don't think any of us are surprised because we've been talking about that since episode 1. Will they or won't they? Well, they did, but now it's kind of like, do they never mention that again? Do we just assume Baby Yoda gets killed in the Ben Solo attack on the Academy? I mean, what happens now?
Well, he's gonna have to die because Luke is the last Jedi in episode 8. So that means you can't have a Jedi Baby Yoda.
All roads lead to
I'm
the
sure we'll
Disney
have
trilogy.
Filoni, though. He'll say that we didn't hear Baby Yoda's voice in Rey's thing. So then he must be alive.
Yeah.
Just like he escaped the Jedi Temple, somebody just decided to, beforehand, they had the foresight to take him out of there. Not anybody else, though. Just him. And rescue him.
Yeah.
It happened. That guy is a bad fucking luck charm. And if he's in your temple, destruction is soon to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would actually survive technically to Order 66.
Kind of, yeah. He's just a bad totem, man.
Curtis, we will get into that as well. There was that definitely stood out to me. The woke assault party. I like
Ram
that.
and power.
Yeah, it was definitely there.
Well, and that's and one other thing about this. So
We already expect that, though.
some of the actual plot elements. I mean, we could go into that forever, but where did they get this shuttle that happened to have Dr. Pershing on it? Oh, it happened off screen.
Again, we will get into that. I know exactly what you're saying, and I had the exact same thing, and that's pretty much the opening scene. So we'll get into that very, very early. Jeff, what were your initial thoughts? How'd you feel about it?
Initial thoughts were most of the episode was pretty shit. Man, I tell you what, there was some bad acting from some good actors in this episode. I'm looking at you, Giancarlo Esposito.
Fuck.
Wow, he was awful in this thing. And I don't understand what was going. It's like he just checked out and was just like reading lines, like, oh, I'll just do it, like, whatever. It's really bad. The friggin' fight scene between Mandalorian and him, waste of time.
Yeah.
This is why you don't have a filler episode like the little Ice Planet Frog Lady hot tub episode. You get rid of that. You make this a 2-parter so you can stretch this shit out because.
Yeah.
You have this real quick fight. You have a 45-minute episode. People were expecting to be like 50-minute episodes. Like I saw them all over Twitter. It's going to be like an hour long, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it ain't. It'll be like 45 minutes with recap and credits. And a teaser at the end as well now. So it's like probably 38 minutes, maybe 37 minutes. But it just, a lot of stuff, a lot of the CGI with the Dark Troopers was really off to me. They looked really weird. Their stupid techno music when they were on screen too, like drove me nuts. Because I went through the episode again.
That sound effect.
And I will say this a bit in the beginning when they're going after that shuttle. They're shooting at it at first with regular lasers. Like they could hit it by accident. But then they use the ion torpedo whatever to take it out. Why are you shooting at it why are you shooting at it? You want to take him alive. What are you doing?
Well, more importantly, you want the shuttle undamaged because that's
exactly because you're going to use it. I know
it's their whole plan.
What are you doing?
Can I just quickly make a point?
What are you doing there?
Can I just quickly go back to a point in regards to the music? Yes, there was that bit, but the one thing that I noticed when spoilers, obviously we've already sort of gone into a few things, but the biggest spoiler is about to come. Of course, Luke shows up. The music when he does show up. It's almost like they're trying to. It's almost like we're sorry. This is what. It really did feel that way.
It was his theme music. That part was like very familiar and good sounding.
Yeah, but I think they played it a little bit like low and deep and meaningful. They changed it up a little bit. It was definitely his music, but I don't know.
Well, if you think about it, though, Luke should have been dead because that. Ship had shields, and you need to lower the shields for the thing.
He comes in and but Luke should have been dead.
Yeah, it should have gone splat because
I agree.
If physical objects just can cross through that shield all the time, then the ship would be destroyed.
There was one throwaway line when they got into the bridge. They did a couple things like all defenses are down.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about that too.
At least they had something.
Anyway, Greg, just quickly, your general thoughts, please.
Pretty similar to what everybody else said. The majority of this episode, before we get to Luke showing up, is absolute dumpster fire, bad acting, bad storytelling, horrible plot, terrible action sequences. There's that one scene, just for an example, where they're in one particular room in the ship, and 3 different times a character does like a wrestling move or like a takedown, like a kick or a headlock or whatever, flips the stormtrooper onto his back and then shoots him point blank range. And it's like, you had the blaster the whole time. Why didn't you just shoot him? Like, why are you doing these stupid, why are you doing these wrestling moves and kicks when there's like troopers all over the place? Like, you don't have time. Shoot them as efficiently as possible.
Because they have wrestlers.
Because they have wrestlers, and modern science fiction, even though it loves to have lasers and blasters
TPs.
and particle weapons, beam weapons, they love to do like the close quarters fucking martial arts, like matrixy shit, and it just doesn't fit.
Here's another thing. How can the gun jam? They don't have bullets and cartridges.
Yeah, now I thought that
Yeah,
this
no moving
comes
parts.
this comes to this comment here from Lord Vader. I didn't like that, pulled me out when she said my gun is jammed. That sort of pulled me out of it a little bit because first of all, I wasn't sure about the whole calling it guns thing. Now I have been corrected on that. Apparently guns they've been called guns in Star Wars
looked
plenty
it
of
up,
times. I must admit I just haven't noticed it or anything like that. And again, I am looking at these a lot more closely than other Star Wars things that I've watched. Like, that's hard to say because I've watched so much Star Wars that I kind of know it inside out and back to front sort of thing. But the jamming thing, like, do these things jam? Are there moving parts? I thought they were.
Well, here's a 2-for-1
like,
for you.
aren't they batteries? Or
In A
something?
New Hope, in the garbage compactor, Luke says, "Blast it." Well, yeah, my gun's jammed. So gun in, jammed.
Yeah, he does. I think they say jam, so we as the audience know what they mean. They can just say malfunction because, I mean, of course, something like that's made out of technology is probably going to malfunction every now and then. But I think they just say jam so the audience knows what they mean.
Raspberry.
Could be. And fair
Exactly,
point
that's
about the New Hope.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't
it's
really
not.
have a problem with that. I mean,
I don't know.
I think it was the way she reacted and the fact that she did look kind of like the classic Neanderthal thing by just slamming it on the ground, fixed it. Like, okay.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid.
I also made another mistake in my review where I said that nobody died, and well, somebody did get blasted at the end, but we don't know if they're dead or alive. I dare say that they'd still be alive, but we'll get to that as well. I just want to address this from Max. I know I've gone
Nobody's
a little
ever
bit further
gone.
back in the chat. I felt very similar because I just don't know how to feel. Like, it was awesome seeing Luke unleash and be powerful within the Force. And yes, Stig, I know what you're going to say. Two of those things, yeah, you can see that happening, but you go to a whole platoon of them and it's a different story. I get that, but it was still for me awesome to see. But I kind of still have that apathy feel towards it because
Well,
it's almost like what it could have been. This is at least a taste of this would have been nice in the sequel trilogy, but we got none of that. We got completely cucked Luke Skywalker. We didn't even get Luke Skywalker. So I understand where you're coming from, Max. Like, it's just numb, not happy at all.
All roads lead to the Disney
I
trilogy.
get it.
It's hard
I
to
get it.
compartmentalize.
I still
that,
think
guys.
they're gonna. I still think they're
I'm
gonna
going to
retcon it,
in the
man.
chat.
it
Hey,
it looked like they were copying the Vader scene from Rogue One, actually.
bingo.
That's what I said. Remember,
I thought
bit.
that straight away.
A
I
little
thought
bit.
the Vader scene, they definitely did. They gave Luke Skywalker a Vader scene from Rogue One. It was that,
Yeah,
exactly.
in as far as tone and feel of
Exactly.
it was maybe not the exact choreography, but like,
He
I
didn't
don't
put the
know.
guy on the roof and all that sort
yeah.
of thing, but he
well, I
definitely...
mean, he crushed the one, and that was like
Yeah.
certainly unnecessary to do, but he just did it anyway. I mean, it was
He
cool
used the
to
Force
see.
to throw a couple of them. He used
Yeah.
he pulled something out the wall to throw it against one of them. He did use the Force quite a bit.
He used
More than
the,
Kylo
did
Ren
use
ever
the Force,
fucking
which is
did.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. I hate it when Jedi don't use the Force when they're fighting. It drives me up the wall. I want to go back to one thing you mentioned, Cuck. Like, you know, back in the original episode with Bo-Katan, she had two companions. What happened to the guy?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was
that's the
gonna-
other thing that I mentioned that in my review. I said that
What happened to him?
Dude Mando's just gone. So Bo-Katan must have sent him on a mission, but it's just her and her sidekick now, and it's so that they can have their woman moment without
Exactly.
having this guy in the way. This is where I will say that woke SJW agenda definitely did hit this episode, and it's going to get blinded by the Luke Skywalker scene. And that's where, like, I see it. I already
That's
see
why
it.
they did it. It's a trade-off.
That's right. It's a trade-off. You get awesome Luke Skywalker. You get awesome one white male character, but we're going to have our women empowerment moment in
Yep.
this episode. It really was. And I mean, whether or not you want to admit that or not, it was there. Plain to see. Plain to see.
Yeah, and the Force crush thing he used is actually a dark side power.
I
'Cause
love this comment.
It's the same as the Force choke.
Is
Yeah, but
that
he crushed a
something-
droid.
Is that a reference to EFAP because
Yeah.
the liquid that
Everything's
was in
fucking
this,
blue.
It's
the liquid
fucking
in this
blue.
was blue.
Well, and we got to
Everything's
remember,
blue.
going back to the
It
SJW
was
stuff,
blue in
that
this. It was fun.
by supporting this show, you're supporting Disney Lucasfilm and all these other shows that will be blatantly SJW. So that's something to keep in mind.
Oh,
once
there's
they
going to be
have
an
it-
outcry.
This show will, take that turn and go full woke in the
I
third or
was
fourth
to-
season.
I was told by someone who told me about which shows would be announced 2 weeks ahead of time. So he knows. He said the wokeness stuff that's coming is way beyond what we've seen so far. It's going to get
course.
a lot worse. And Kathleen Kennedy getting to keep her job
Oh,
is
Coming.
why.
and season 3 is going to be so woke. Anyway, that's how I sort of see it with the what they did in this. Of course, Fennec at the end in the end credit scene, and we'll get to that as well. Being essentially Bulba's right-hand man, sitting there with the blue liquid, drinking it, and wiping her face. It's gonna get there. It's gonna get there.
Do you remember somebody a few months back, somebody possibly working for Lucasfilm, I don't remember, saying we're going to fix Luke? I'm trying to remember who that was, if it was Filoni or someone, but I guess if I'm remembering correctly, this is what they were referring to, this scene.
And it doesn't fix anything. That's
No.
the thing. It looked fantastic, and I loved it. I did
got
love it.
people.
I'm not going to deny that. When I was
don't either.
sitting there, I was like, but again, it was like what Max said earlier. It was that, man, if Mandalorian wasn't a bad show, first of all, it was actually written quite well, and the Disney trilogy was really good, and we were actually moving into a future that I actually fucking cared about. Seeing this scene would have been like, oh my god, but it was more like, yeah, this is cool, but thanks. And that's about as far as it gets. Like, I don't know. That's what it was for me. Anyway, let's get into breaking it down. So let's start from the very beginning. I haven't done all my clips. I didn't have time, and I wasn't feeling great. I had to get off the computer for a little while before I started doing this.
You're good, man. Hopefully you feel better.
So, the last 2 days, I've felt so dizzy and queasy and just horrible. Horrible. Okay. So, the opening scene is already a question in itself. So, it opens to this. This is exactly where we are. So, Slave One is in pursuit of an Imperial shuttle in the middle of nowhere with no. Where did we leave off in the last episode? We were on. The last thing that they were on was on the planet with the Imperial base that Mayfield helped destroy. They were about to leave that, and he sends a communication to Gideon.
I have a question.
So, yeah, go on.
Isn't it established in Disney canon that you can't track people through hyperspace?
No, what?
Because that's what's happening. No, because they made a point out of this in The Last Jedi. They tracked our hyperspace jump.
Yeah, they don't have that technology till then, though. Like we don't know about it until then.
Yeah, but now they do, because Boba Fett follows the shuttle in hyperspace.
No, we'll get to that. We will
though.
get to that because I've got a question on that myself. Let's get there first, Stig. So anyway, it opens up to this. They're in the middle of nowhere. We don't know how they got there. We don't know how they found this shuttle. But also the other thing that I find very convenient is that it just so happens to have this dude on this shuttle. Like, we've just found the cloning guy. How did we get here is my first question. I mean, again, it's one of the things that I do. I ask why or how. And to both of those questions, why and how. So they obviously the why is so that they can get the Imperial shuttle. But how did they find this shuttle? And again, it's in the middle of nowhere. What are your thoughts on that? Tracking fobs. Yes, thanks, Mara. Tracking fobs, the answer to everything. Yes.
It is.
It's almost like this guy had a contract for 8 episodes, and they're like, well, this is how we'll use him in this one. We'll just stick him in the Imperial shuttle.
Okay, yeah.
I mean...
yeah, why? What are they doing? Where is he going to and from?
Mm-hmm.
Were they even at hyperspace? And if they weren't at hyperspace, then
No.
why?
They weren't here. No, they weren't.
It literally opens up to
space battles.
Right.
PP.
So why? why? I guess shut up, Luke.
literally. Look,
That'll
this
be
is.
the
I'm
answer
not
to
going
most
to play
of
any
these.
sound. Just get.
Are going to be just shut up. It's Luke.
Bang! Literally opens up to that. They're not in hyperspace at all.
Right.
Like, this is, again, I just don't understand how we got here. But anyway, despite that, so there's those two guys, pilots, and the and the cloning dude on this shuttle. Don't know where they're going. They're not in hyperspace. They're just in the middle of space, and Boba Fett's in pursuit. He ends up hitting them with a, what's it called? Help me.
Ion cannon.
Ion cannon. Sorry, you're going to have to help me tonight, guys, I think.
It's all right. We will.
With an ion cannon, just to sort of shut it down. And Boba Fett says, prepare for boarding.
Can I ask a very simple question about the ion cannon things? Because I looked it up to make sure that these things really did exist, as far as being able to disable ships.
Yeah.
Why aren't why doesn't every ship have ion cannons and use them?
Oh, a lot of them do, but here's the
If
thing.
you can take out a shielded ship,
Dude, they cause damage. You can't. It doesn't disable. It's not a stun gun.
Yes.
You have to repair the damage. It doesn't just disable it for
it's
20
not
minutes.
an EMP. Okay.
It is now though, because
It fries
on
the
Rebels,
systems.
on Rebels, what's her name? Sabine used an ion grenade to disable a whole damn Star Destroyer.
She did.
That's on Rebels.
You're certainly not wrong there, Orange Hat.
That's
You're not wrong.
really bad because I look back to the original trilogy, even the sequel trilogy. Like I can think of 1,000 times where those would have come in really good handy.
Well, they were in Empire Strikes Back, right?
Yeah.
Well, they used them to
I
fire
don't know what
on
cannon is.
to clear the way for the troop transports, and I get that because it was like this gigantuous mammoth thing that needed to be have a large power source, right? It's not something that it could be one of
They did have ion rifles though to
1,000 things
use
on this
against
tiny
droids.
ship. And why?
Whoa. You broke up there big time, Greg.
Yeah, you did.
But the point is, those things are supposed to damage systems, and you can't just disable it and then fly off. You'd have to repair the ion damage.
Can I also point out that the co-pilot says that we've lost everything, we've lost this, we've lost that, but one thing that I noticed that he said, we've lost comms. Straight after he says we've lost comms, Boba Fett comes through the comms and says prepare to be boarded.
Yep.
Did you not notice this? Oh man,
Well,
it was
comm systems have a very short reboot time.
man, I don't care
it'll
what
be in a
anyone
comic book
says.
later.
They got
there's
hit by the ion cannon. The dude goes, "This is shut down. This is shut down. We've lost this. We've lost this. We've lost comms." As soon as he says that,
aren't there
Fett
short
comes through.
range transmitters and stuff that still would work, or no?
Oh, I shouldn't have done
Like
that.
I don't know how that works.
I would say
Oh, Greg.
Yeah, you're robot.
Yeah.
Robot
hardcore,
and
bro.
I assume it'd be affected
Real bad.
just the same way as the rest of the ship.
Sorry.
Good.
Sorry, Greg. You're roboting. I couldn't
Yeah,
hear
you're
the beginning
you're
of what you
roboting pretty
said.
bad. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, I thought that was hilarious. Iron Cannon shuts down everything except for everything that he just said. And as soon as he says it, it's like, yeah. Long range comms, yeah, maybe long range comms, but he didn't say long range comms. He just said comms are down. Again, if I had been feeling better, I would have gone through and I would have clipped out all the little bits, and hopefully I could have played you just the audio for that. But
I know what it was. It's Space Bullhorn. Space Bullhorns. That's what it was.
Smoke signal.
Yeah, Space Bullhorns. Yeah.
Now, what do you think of this shot personally? Like, Boba Fett says, "Prepare to be boarded," and then he just happens to like fly.
I like how the Slave One kind of comes in front of the screen like that. That's a cool shot.
It was a good
Didn't
shot.
Slave One chase a ship through hyperspace though?
Yeah, no,
They
we'll get
chase
there.
it,
We'll get
follow
there.
it.
It's
That was after they
soon.
captured
it's
it, man.
coming.
Oh,
It's
okay.
coming. It's coming.
Yeah, that's much later.
We'll get to that because I do have a question on it. We'll get there. Okay, so again, these pilots do look like twins, don't they? They look like clones. Maybe they're
super
clones that
soy
did
though. The
experiment,
one on
Evil
the
white
right
males.
is like super soy.
But he is an evil.
Yeah, you're
dude.
right, Tim. Evil white
Yeah.
males.
He's an evil one, and he's like just a pussy one that this guy gets to kill. Okay,
What do you
so
think
they
about
get-
what they said about Alderaan and the Death Stars?
to Cara Dune and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I think that was just it's
You
stupid.
killed millions of people and
No,
built Death
it's
Stars.
it's designed to make us try and feel more for the character of Cara Dune, so that when we get to the what is it, the Rebels series? I don't know what the fuck it's called.
The Rangers.
The
Rangers of
Rangers,
the New
thank
Republic.
you.
Rangers of the Republic.
Rangers of the Republic series. We've got more emotion to feel for Cara Dune. Can I just say, in this episode,
No reason.
Didn't work.
that it didn't work. This dude's standing up, trying to. He's got okay. So what happens? They get boarded. Let me explain it. They get boarded.
Please explain.
This guy here takes this guy hostage, puts a gun to his head, and this guy here pusses out. And while he's pussing out, he shoots him. Right, and
Because he's soy and he's not. Yeah, that's
this
right.
is after they get sort of. Let me sort of get there, get a good shot. So here, so this guy here takes him hostage, and he pushes out, and then he just blasts him away, and then
Shoot me.
this guy here decides to start coaxing Cara Dune by saying, like, can anybody remember enough of the dialogue to actually at least repeat what the conversation was? Because I can't.
Basically,
He does talk
it
about
was
how, like, the other side, like, you don't remember, you know how many people you killed on the fucking Death Star
millions
that
of people
day?
on the
Yeah.
Death Star, and they had
Yeah.
this like which
Empire
Death
did
Star
nothing wrong.
dumb exchange, and
And then he
And
ends with, "I make you wish that
terrorists.
you were on
terrorists.
Yeah.
Alderaan when it blew up, or something."
I want to
like
know
that.
how he
blew
got
up.
off the Death Star, because he was on the Death Star, but then apparently
she says,
they
"Which
stopped
one?"
somewhere.
And she says,
Well,
"Which
he said
one?"
it was on. He's on the first one.
Yeah.
He says, and
Yeah.
so like between the destruction of Alderaan and the Battle of Yavin, like they switched a bunch of troops and gave some shore leave or something. Like
No,
Yeah,
Greg,
they
he
were not
surfed down to the
shit.
planet on some of the remains of the Death Star when it exploded. He surfed down to the planet using pieces of the Death Star. Come on now.
yeah, he must be a relative of
Silver
Palpatine
Surfer.
because
He
like, he
is,
can
he
survive
is.
Silver Surfer.
the destruction of a Death Star. And the idea that, like, I don't understand why you would hold a gun to the scientist dude. Like, none of these people give a shit about him at all.
That's right. They want the ship.
Like-
they don't
like,
give
go
a
ahead-
fuck about that dude.
Go ahead and shoot him. Why would I fucking care? like I don't understand
Yeah.
his tactics. And then to actually like provoke Cara to shooting him, like, boy, what a generic, miserable, bland soap opera villain he turned out to be. Like, this is like bad soap opera shit.
Yeah.
Shit, I thought some of his acting was better than anybody else's.
It was really bad.
Jesus,
and
I
then
was like-
after she blows him away, she blows him right in the
Kapoom.
face. Right in the face, and skims his ear because he's sitting there
no.
going, "Ah," like this, complaining.
I think it was the hearing. I don't know if he had actually hit his ear.
Yeah, maybe. It probably is. Anyway,
Too
Why do you
bad.
do that?
see, look, there he is holding his ear. She just looks at Mando and walks out, and then we get the open screen. Dum dum. Chapter 16, the rescue.
Paint by numbers rescue.
Oh my god. So then we get another massive jump
reason.
where they've just happened to go to a planet because they just happen to know where Bo-Katan is at this point in time. Like, again, like, it's so funny. In your review, Jeff, You said how they could have dropped episode 2 and made this a 2-parter and actually filled it out a little bit more. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
There's 2 massive jumps here where after this Imperial shuttle, which we don't know how we get there, right? We're just bang, we're there. And then straight after that, we're then bang at another planet where it just so happens that Bo-Katan and her sidekick, fucking Chung-Li, it's actually more Elisa from Tekken. She does these flips off walls with her jetpack.
No, it's bratty teenager Mando. It's bratty teenager Mando.
God. But again, it's just like a jump. It's like, how did we get here? How do they even know that Bo-Katan is here?
They just stopped by every planet and went to all the coffee shops on every planet to see if Bo-Katan was happened to be hanging out. I mean, Bo-Katan, who's supposed to be
that was going to be my next question.
Singular-minded, like in search of Gideon, is just like, fuck Gideon. Nobody can find him.
That looks like
I'll
Kessel.
Sit here and drink coffee.
This is the thing. We don't even know where this planet is. They were just in the vacuum of space in the middle of nowhere where there just happened to be an Imperial shuttle that they could actually hijack. And again, that Imperial shuttle's not here with them right now. Did you notice that? Mm-hmm. And then when it cuts back to them taking off, it is there.
I'm guessing that some of them took the shuttle and some of them took Slave 1, but they should have showed them coming in behind them.
Yeah.
Well, they should have both been on this planet, because if I jump forward to when they're actually leaving, let me just... I
think the rest of them were on the shuttle. That's why it was only Boba and Mando
elevator music, elevator music, elevator music, elevator music. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Well, you did take a boat of the
shot?
I was going to say.
Yeah, what are you doing? Where are you
I'm
going?
trying to find this shot when they take off, and there's fucking...
It doesn't exist.
No, it does. Maybe I was seeing things. No, it's
really
not.
doesn't matter that much.
For no reason.
Anyway, basically the Imperial shuttle's there when they go to take off. And I thought that was pretty dumb, because the Imperial shuttle should be with them right now, because that's just what they hijacked. It should be right behind him.
Yeah,
right
it should
here.
be back there. It's maybe they're still a little farther ways behind him, because that looks like it's just Boba and Mandalorian that go in there, and the rest of them are on the
But again,
shuttle.
we have no idea how we got here. We're just here.
We don't even know where we are. We don't know where the fuck we are.
Well, we don't know where we are. Okay, so they land here. Of course, that's Bo-Katan's ship. We all know that that's a Mandalorian ship.
Yeah.
I do like their ships, because the wings sort of rotate around.
What's it called?
I should know it, but I don't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt everyone's ears. Hello, Teresa. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you. Okay. Tim, how much time you got, mate?
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in a few minutes. Like I said,
All right.
I have to work pretty much all morning, actually, today. Some Fridays are a little lighter. But,
Cool.
yeah, I'll just take off now. But, you know, guys, this thing, it was what it was. I think it was on par with some of the better action episodes of this series.
Mm-hmm.
So, within the series, I'd probably give it a 7. But just overall, you know, probably like a 2.5. Luke... Yeah, it's Luke, but again, like that person said earlier, I tried, but I felt nothing but apathy, because in my mind, we know where it's leading, and they're going to decanonize it. Well, we've seen enough indications that they're in that universe, that they're in that timeline, if you will. So I don't know. It didn't do a whole heck of a lot for me, but I can't wait to make my video. There's so much to break down in this one. So
My whole thing was I'm happy for Mark Hamill. So
and I mean, I'm glad he got to come back and do it, because we know that he was personally hurt by it. And even though probably as a human being he's becoming a piece of shit in his older age, you know, I think they definitely did him wrong in the role.
Absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, again, Tim, thank you for coming by.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. Please let everyone know where they can find you. Give yourself a quick plug. And
my channel, Open Airlock Policy, lots of Star Wars stuff. My new project, Expanded Universe, going to talk a lot about interesting things about Expanded Universe. Doing some book reviews. I'm definitely going to review the first book in Legacy of the Force series, Betrayal, sometime in the next 2 weeks. Awesome, amazing book, by the way. Like, I keep thinking, oh, it can't continue being good, and then the next chapter is even better. So can't wait to do that. Check it out.
Nice.
And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Awesome.
See you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thanks,
See you
Tim.
guys.
Thanks
man.
for coming by. Please
Take
subscribe
care,
to Tim Open Airlock Policy.
I put his link in the chat.
Thank you for that. I just want to quickly, Lord Vader, I don't think it's Lothal. If you actually look at the end of Rebels, once the Empire has actually been defeated, Lothal, is that how you say it? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes.
Actually ends up becoming quite a prosperous and nice looking planet. It's not this rundown planet anymore. So if they want to go
looks like
by
more
their
like an
own
industrial planet to
I don't
me.
think it is. Stig, have you got anything to say? You haven't said anything for a little while.
I don't know what planet this is. It could be anything. Could even be Corellia.
Hail, Scott.
Oh, that's a possibility. It
Generic-
does look very
generic
industrial.
planet number.
Yeah, it could be Corellia. Yeah.
5716.
Yeah, Corellia is basically the Star Wars version of Earth. Actually,
Okay. Well, I don't know. We didn't get any reference of what planet this is. But again, it's kind of like that whole thing of how did they know that Bo-Katan was here? You know, it could have been easily explained. They could have had this quick little moment where, I mean, even Bo-Katan offering, you know, saying, if you ever want to come find us sort of thing in that previous episode that Bo-Katan was in, even if she had have given him some sort of way to find her, could have at least explained how we at least bang all of a sudden end up at this planet where Bo-Katan is. Something small like that. So, but we don't get any of that.
Anyway, they
Anyway,
don't take their time. They fucking rush everything. That's why we get some shitty filler episode, and then instead of having a 2-part finale.
yeah. So we get another bit where Mando walks into a bar with the light behind him.
what happened to the Mandalorians having to stay hidden?
Yeah, they just seem to be out in the open. I don't know. It's so funny. In season 1, it seemed like, you know, Mandalorians were very, you know, even what's his name, the original Empire guy, the Imperial dude that dies, that gives him the Beskar. He says, you know, it's hard to find the Beskar, but it's even harder to find Mandalorians these days. And it just so happens that now, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
again, it's kind of like the same thing with
And
the
everyone
Beskar.
knows
Like
what's going
Beskar is supposed to be really rare, but in nearly every episode, we see some new part of Beskar. We get a Beskar spear. We get, you know, more Beskar here. We get more Beskar there. Anyway,
I can understand the Beskar from the Imperial guy in the first season because he's in, you know, Imperial took over, you know, and they have some leftover Beskar from Mandalore. The Imperial, you know, Empire's been hoarding the shit out of it. But, like, dude, imagine if he didn't get that spear in that episode. He'd have been fucked in this episode.
yeah,
Good thing he found that spear, right?
I want to say, even though he had the spear, there was plenty of opportunity for Gideon to slice those fingers off. And we'll
Gideon's
get to
an
that too. Okay, so in this scene, they walk in.
He's got Beskar lined gloves. It'll be in a comic book. Don't worry.
Yeah,
dude.
Pablo Hidalgo put it in a book.
I'm
Be like,
sorry.
oh, look,
It's
this,
it's Beskar weave fabric.
He's got a weave.
So Mando asks for Bo-Katan's help, says that Moff Gideon's got the child. She's obviously got a vested interest in Gideon because she knows that he's got the Darksaber. And
Well, now wait a minute. She couldn't give two shits about Mando or the child.
kid. Yeah, no,
She's just going after Moff Gideon.
she just
That's
cares
it.
about the Darksaber. But hold on a second.
going
I
for
need to
Darksaber.
ask a quick question. You know, in the episode that Bo-Katan was in, she grabs that guy and says to him, "Does he have it?" Right? Now, later on in this episode, there's obviously we get the bit where she's obviously got to beat somebody for it. It's a trophy, right? She's got to beat Mando for the Darksaber, or she's got to beat Moff Gideon for the Darksaber for her to have it. Now she's asking, and he goes, "Well, if you have to ask, you know that he's got it." There's a little thing in there that doesn't really quite add up for me. If she knows that he's already got it, then again, why is she even asking? Because she knows that she's got to beat it off him anyway. It just kind of brings me back to that. Anyway, I just thought of that then. It was just a little something. Anyway. So now this is where we get the bit where Bo-Katan obviously recognizes Boba Fett's voice, knows that he's a clone from the Clone Wars, obviously.
Yeah.
And she says that he's not a Mandalorian. And then he says that he got this armor
He says, "Yeah, huh."
from his father.
But he said he wasn't a He said he was a Mandalorian just an episode ago or whatever.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
right. But then in this, he sort of agrees that he's not a Mandalorian. Like she says that he's not a
It's
Mandalorian.
whatever he
and
needs to be that day.
I don't get it.
I know, right?
It. He either is or he isn't. There were so many people out there saying, "Oh, they've just fixed the retcon with the retcon," and now they've just retconned the retcon that they retcon.
Yeah, it's like this is the fourth
The
time I think
fuck?
they changed it. I mean, just pick one.
I know.
Is he or isn't he? Right?
Right?
Yep.
Does he say it? Does he say that he is one, Lord Vader? All right.
No, he doesn't. He says he's not, but his father gave him the armor.
Yeah, that's right. Because I don't know.
She goes, "You're not a Mandalorian," and he's basically, "Yeah, but my father gave me the armor."
Yeah, that's right. So he does agree that he's not a Mandalorian, but in the previous episode he says my chain code has been built into the armor. I am a Mandalorian. And then prior to that it was that he wasn't a man. I don't know. I get lost in Disney's canon now.
Can we stop here and before we
Yeah.
get into the other woke stuff, we need to acknowledge something, and that is that Mandalorians, by their behavior and attitude towards other people, are the most racist people in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yes, he
But,
did. He
They're
said he
anti.
was.
They're anti. Anybody who's not a Mandalorian is like beneath them.
Yeah, but it's okay
It's held in contempt.
if a woman says it, then it's okay.
Well, that's. I guess maybe that's why they had to get rid of the third one, because then it would have like unbalanced it and made it.
Yeah.
Then it would have been racist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not a Mandalorian. Okay, you're just a clone.
I don't know. The whole thing is confusing.
I mean, she seems to have a pretty good beat and understanding of like Boba Fett's whole backstory. I didn't know that was like a publicly acknowledged thing.
Try not to use my brain too much, Becky. Yeah, I know. Especially right now. This concussion, it's going to get worse. Just from watching this episode and trying to break it down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Sue Disney for giving you a concussion.
Why wouldn't she question the fact that, hey, you're a clone, why aren't you as old as the other ones? Because Boba
Because
Fett
I think
being an
I think it's
unaltered
trying to
clone
imply
is
she
another
knows.
She knows who
he
Boba
is
Fett is.
specifically.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
Well, she
could be
says-
true
Like, I
because
can
she's a
fucking says she
Mandalorian.
knows
knows who Boba Fett is.
She knows what he is. She already says
Well, the
that,
thing
yeah.
is-
Well, she
that
knows.
she
Like,
knows-
she says she recognizes his voice being a clone's voice. Like I don't,
She talks about
but I got
Django
the
and him
impression she
being.
But
knew.
not only that,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Django was
Yeah.
wasn't Django Death Watch?
Well, question: how does she know it's Boba Fett? Because he's not wearing Boba Fett's armor. He's wearing a regular Mandalorian armor.
He's wearing
So,
repainted
how come she-
Boba Fett armor.
It's a refab.
So, if you don't know specifically it's Boba Fett, you would assume, hey, that's a regular clone in a Mandalorian armor. Because Boba
Well,
Fett
the real
looks
secret is
dead,
that
too.
Mandalorians, and this will be covered in a comic book, don't worry, Mandalorians can see through Beskar like Superman can see through stuff. So that's why they don't take their helmets off, because they can see each other's faces anyway, and she recognized him as a clone. It'll be in a comic book, don't worry about it.
I wish I had Gary's because that's good. Nah, Django is.
I was gonna make a comment about Boba Fett's ship, but I won't.
Shit or ship?
Ship.
Go on.
No, I'm not. I'm
As
not
a
going there. Just think about the name of his ship.
Oh, yeah. Cool. All right, let's move on then. So, what did everybody think of this little confrontation between Sasha Banks,
You mean when little
And-
teenage Mando bitch cucked Boba Fett?
Boba Fett? Yeah,
The whole hostility towards kind of both the Mandalorian himself and Boba Fett felt extremely forced and out of place.
Yeah,
Like it's
why are they
trying to
bickering
create
so much?
tension that just gets dropped later. And
I
it's
have
just
to
like
show you this fire. Oh, they stopped. Where's that shot?
Well, this is exactly the same stuff they put in The Last Jedi, where Poe, for some reason, gets chastised by older women.
yeah.
It's the same.
It certainly
damn thing.
felt like that, didn't it?
Yeah, and then
gotta
Sasha
be put in
Banks
his place.
is stronger than Boba Fett physically.
I'm Sasha
Yeah, she can
Banks.
pull him, like, he hits her arm with, like, the, I guess, lasso,
cable.
for lack of a better cable. It's wrapped around her arm, and he's tugging on it with two hands,
She's
and she,
strong
like,
because she whammed.
one-handed pulled him towards her. Like, now, this has been covered
Bo-Katan
before a little
was
bit, and
Death
people
Watch.
were a little bit sensitive about this, but Boba packed on a few pounds since we last saw
Put your
him.
fucking weight behind it, yeah.
So he's like that's even a harder sell. It's
started
not
off with
arm
Dad
muscle,
bod,
it's
Boba.
body mass.
He started off with Dad Bod Boba, and then when he came back for the last episode or something, he lost a bit of weight. And now he's put on a bit of weight. I just want to
fine.
quickly say that Bo-Katan was Death Watch before Darth Maul killed Gar Saxon and took over Death Watch and Mandalore because he took the Darksaber. And then
Here's a question.
Bo-Katan left. That's in Disney's canon. I'm just, I don't know, again, what the EU has to say about all of that, but go on, Steve.
Sasha Banks. She's not wearing her helmet. I assumed you used the helmet to activate the jetpack.
I didn't
that's
speak
what-
to it, apparently.
Yeah, because she just
Mando did use
activates
the
it
control
by
on the
mind
ship.
control.
Mm.
She does it in the middle of the fight. It just activates for as long as she needs to, and then
Where is
Yes,
that?
it's convenience.
I don't think we'll get a good shot of that. Oh,
Yeah, I think-
how's this bit? How is this? I'm sorry, but I have to just bring this up for a second. So in this confrontation, Boba Fett shoots out his web slinger.
She's so strong.
And it wraps around her wrist like that, and she's got enough strength to actually start pulling Bulba in and pulls him in that hard to knee him in the guards.
yeah, Lord
did
Vader
you
in the
see
chat.
What?
Yes, she does just use one arm, Lord Vader. It's right there in the picture.
Yeah, there's no way in hell. Sorry. No fucking way.
Yeah, and you know
She
when
does go into using two hands, but she's sort of using one at a time to pull him in.
remember what happened?
Like she
to
holds
Obi-Wan?
up to both his arms pull with one, and then she
Please.
grabs.
That's
with
what
the
I'm
other
saying.
one
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pulls
There's
him.
no fucking way. I'm sorry.
Obi-Wan got yanked off his feet in episode 2.
Look, he's using two hands, and she just... Oh, no. I'm
And she
sorry.
just-
She's like, I fucking got
Just
this.
send my
She
disbelief a little
casually
bit more,
tugs on it,
please.
and it's like it flings him all the way to her.
Knees
No,
him
don't
in the
think
guts
so.
there.
Yeah, She-Hulk.
And then we get,
She's
and then we
weaker,
get the
I'm
bit
sorry.
where
He's physically
fire is
stronger.
like fire and ice in Marvel. You know, like when Bobby and what's his name? You know, in X-Men,
Oh, pyro guy.
Pyro and Iceman or whatever, they do their thing, and it kind of. That's not how fire works. I'm sorry. They'd be burning each other's hands right now and each other's wrists.
It's space fire, okay? Space fire.
Yeah, maybe it's a plasma.
Yeah, it's space fire.
Yeah,
dude.
it's-
That's
it's
how space fire
liquid
works.
plasma and it's bouncing off each other. Like it's a
Space
comic
fire works so
book. Be in a
well.
comic book. Don't worry about it.
Bo-Katan then steps in and says, "Stop it, you two! Stop being children. All right, I'll help you, but I'll only help you in payment for the ship to help my cause." And she obviously wants the Darksaber as well, so she really doesn't give a fuck about. She just
doesn't
knows
give a
that she basically figures out that he's got a way to find Moff Gideon, and that's where they're going. So that's what they're doing. I think it's so funny that, like, I've been doing these casual rages now. There's 22 people watching as far as I can see right now. prior casual rages I've had are anywhere between 30 and 40. And it just so happens that this week I put out 2 videos basically pointing the finger and saying, you're all fucking retards and you're all getting sucked in. And now my audience is lowering. I've already got, I think, 4 dislikes on this stream. Awesome. I'm making it.
Who gives a shit about that?
I just found it funny.
And
Yeah,
I think maybe Mora in the chat can answer this. The language on the thing behind them, the writing, isn't that the Mandalorian writing that Karen Travis created for the EU? Because I'm seeing, because I'm seeing Filoni and Favreau getting praised for this, but that's the person who came up with that language quit because Filoni fucked up 12 of her books.
Huh, really? That's hilarious.
Including all the Mandalorian lore.
If you want to know what that says, there's a very good chance that Tim, Open Airlock Policy, when he does his review of this episode,
he'll probably do
he does the Mandalorian.
Yeah, he does a lot of the Arabic translations.
The lore and he does the translations and everything. So hopefully he can go through that and actually translate it. It is a little bit hard to see, but you never know. He might be able to actually do it. So again, go and subscribe to Open Airlock Policy because he does some good stuff over there. Of course, subscribe to all these guys. They're all doing some good stuff. Bo-Katan steps in. Yes, we've done that. So they're like, yep, cool, we're going. Let's do it. I'm going to help you.
Keep in mind that Bo-Katan is close to 70 years old.
Yep.
There it is. There's the shot I was looking for. So there was no shuttle when they landed, but there's a shuttle when they take off.
I know.
How funny is that?
Shuttle convenience, man.
Yeah.
Shuttle convenience.
And they just so happen to leave this ship, the Mandalorian ship, there because that's obviously not with them. Okay, this is where we get to. Basically, they come up with their little plan. This guy tells them, "Nah, that's not going to work because he
looks like the protagonist from the Half-Life games."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little fucking soy runt.
The Dark Troopers need time to boot up. They need 10 minutes to be able to boot up.
Not just that now. So you got to go back. It's not that they just need time to boot up. So he said
drain power.
That the reason they all are powered down is because they consume too much power. Okay. When they're away from their charging units, they would not be consuming power. When they're in their charging units, they are consuming power. It does, he's got it backwards. Like, that would be like we don't have power, so plug your phone in.
Does he say a couple of minutes, Beagles? Maybe you're
doesn't
right.
make sense.
Plus, again,
also consider, why would you have to have all of them plugged in? Like, if it's a matter of actual just power resources, right? Mm-hmm. You could still have 10 of them unplugged at a time and just rotate them out, right? Because they eventually all have to, they eventually have to go back to their charging cells to recharge, because I assume they have batteries.
But the other thing, too...
But they don't consume power when they're away from
no, you're right. Base. You're absolutely right. But don't these power cells have, a really, really long life? I mean, they're droids. I mean, how often... we've seen R2-D2 get charged. We see him in Empire getting charged and stuff like that. But... these cells, they're designed to last a very long time. These droids are designed to go, they can go days and days and days and days and days, weeks, without being charged, as far as I knew.
Right. It's just astronomically contrived.
Steve, can you add anything to that in regards to how long, these cells last for in regards to droids staying powered?
I have no idea. I'm guessing there's different cells all over the galaxy. Mm-hmm. So, but you would think that the ones they use for Dark Troopers and all kinds of stuff like that would be top of the line.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's.
Yeah, that wouldn't be where you skimp. you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
on their power cells. It just makes absolutely no sense that that's the reason why they're all in low power mode or sleep mode or whatever. That is just such contrived bullshit. You get, even if that were true, like, you would still have some of them not charging. Like, why would you have your entire, like, best troops not available? Because you need a ticking time clock, and these writers are best suited for children's books.
Yep. Now,
I mean, that's just all there is to it. It's just garbage writing.
Now, this brings us to the whole garbage writing thing again, is even from the previous episode, they got some way to track Moff Gideon's ship. How do they know it's still in the same spot? Like, I don't really understand how that sort of tracking system works because the ship is in motion. I think this was brought up as a question last week after the episode. Like, how does that tracking system work? Again, it's something that we don't get anything to add to it. We've just got to try and make it up ourselves, but
let's write it for them. So let's say that in the computer system that has no security guarding it whatsoever, you just need to have a nose and eyeballs. That Gideon's entire flight plan was in there, and after Mando gave him the courtesy call saying, "Hey, watch out, buddy, I'm coming," Gideon is just like, well, we can't deviate from the flight plan because that's against Imperial regulations. So I guess we're just stuck going on this same path because we can't change course at all because that's against some kind of code. It'll be in a comic book. Don't worry about it.
it'll be in a comic book.
Pablo's going to write it. It's fine.
Don't worry about it. Everyone,
He'll take care of it.
Anything
He logged his flight plan, and by golly, he is going to stick fucking to it.
Yeah, it locks the steering wheel.
Anything you don't know, you'll find out in the comic book.
Just wait.
All right, Stig, we finally got to it.
Geek Plan that's typing in the private chat has to leave.
Geek Blend.
Yeah, I just got a phone call, man. I got to go help some family members with something.
All right, no
sorry
worries.
about that.
All good, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. We'll talk more on Rage of Geek Jedi. So
we'll go through a couple of things on there.
Absolutely.
Please plug your channel. Let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on again, man. I appreciate you. I am the Geek Blend. My name's Jeff. You can find me at the Geek Blend on Twitter, YouTube, everywhere. Come subscribe to the channel. I got some cool stuff coming up. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Please, one of the mods drop his link in the chat. I can't get around all this stuff right now. But again, thank you, Jeff, for coming by.
Yeah.
And take care.
Sorry about that, man.
All good,
that was unexpected.
All good.
All right, man. I'll talk to you guys later. Good talking to you. Good talking to you, Steve. Tim,
Take care and be well.
Greg, can't wait to see your Tuscan Bob review.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, it's in progress.
All right, man.
It's taking a while.
I'll be keeping an eye on it. So yeah, but look forward. Don't forget, guys, on the Rage of Geek Jedi show, Last Crusade trivia. We gotta be ready for that. So don't forget to watch the movie. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Later, dude.
Later.
All right, we're down to 3. Mara, do you want to come on? Do you want a link?
She said she couldn't earlier.
She couldn't? Okay, cool. All right, let's talk about this. So they're now traveling through hyperspace to get to Moff Gideon's ship, and this is where I have to ask the question. I don't have a problem with these ships actually arriving at the destination at a very similar time, but do they travel through hyperspace like this where they can see each other and sort of communicate? Like, I don't think communications is a problem when you're in hyperspace. But
here's the problem with it.
It's shot.
Even if you could, they come out of hyperspace like right by Gideon's cruiser. Now, Gideon should have seen that, or any competent crew on his staff on his cruiser would see, hey, both these ships came out of hyperspace at the same time, and the one started attacking the other. How did the attacker follow our shuttle through hyperspace if it wasn't already planned out? Like, that's a dead giveaway that this is a ruse, that they both snapped out of hyperspace. And it's been established in lore that you can detect ships coming out of hyperspace, right? We saw it in...
Very true.
right?
Yeah,
when they come out of
Well,
hyperspace,
why do you think Vader kills what's his name? Because
Yeah,
he came out of hyperspace too close
too
to the
close
system.
to the system, right? Episode 5. So if you're on the radar scopes of
absolutely
Gideon's
right
ship
on
and you
that.
see both these ships coming out of hyperspace at the same time, you have to assume that it's a really monstrous fucking coincidence, or that they were traveling together, coordinating to leave one place and meet at another, and then to have one attack the other just makes it doesn't sell the whole ruse that, you know, the Slave One ship is attacking the Imperial shuttle. Like, that should have instantly raised all the red flags in the world, saying, bullshit, how did he follow you through hyperspace?
Yeah, because they make a point out of that. You can't follow people through
It'll be explained in the
hyperspace in the sequel trilogy. They keep saying that we don't have technology like that. How does the Empire do it, right?
Right.
But here they do it, and Cara Dune, I'm assuming is part of the rebels in or resistance later on. So she would have told people about this.
You'd think.
Yeah, you would.
I don't think
But then
hyperspace
again,
tracking has officially been established. It's just, the thing is, they don't think about stuff like that when they're doing the show. That's part of the problem with the writing, is that they don't think about these things.
Yeah, but you know, to be fair, Cara Dune is probably the most. She's suffering from dementia, I think, because last season she was telling Mando about how on this forested planet there's nothing that can do damage to an ATSD, even though she was a veteran of Endor, where they used lumber to destroy ATSDs.
Too conveniently tied logs in a tree, and like, wow, that was like, I don't know why you would have those ever, but they sure came in handy.
Yeah, and she seems to have forgotten that the command team that went to Endor, you had Leia and General Solo and Commander Skywalker. She doesn't know that one of the commanders at the Endor battle was a Jedi. I mean, because she's...
Yeah, that doesn't... I didn't even think about that.
That's weird.
That either.
I mean, you don't know one of your possible commanding officers is a Jedi. I mean, he has a lightsaber. He's known for using the Force. He blew up the Death Star. You know, you'd know that. I mean, they literally call him the New Hope. Because
he'd be a bit of a celebrity in the universe that would be recognizable, especially to somebody that served in the rebellion, for sure.
Yeah,
I could see maybe backwater planets, not knowing who Luke Skywalker is necessarily, but like,
if he was a hero of the rebellion, which he was, and a symbol, basically a hope, I'm thinking the rebels at least would know him because he's one of their heroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would think.
Yeah.
Like, Luke, where have I...
Like, are you a Jedi?
My name for a long, long time.
Yeah. Are you a Jedi?
Yes, I am.
I'm like, I didn't think you were, even though you have a lightsaber.
Well, I think it's Mando that asked him, not Cara.
Yeah.
It is.
Maybe.
It is.
Cara Dune would have said
but
it.
even
She should have gone like, oh my god, it's
come
Luke.
across Ahsoka, who's,
Yeah.
She's a former rebel, and the guy who ended Palpatine shows up.
The writing of this show is so bad that again, people out there, you can like it or you like, because this is Disney Star Wars. Like I said in my video, it ain't Star Wars anymore. That's why I'm sort of more laughing about this now. Like, it's not real. Like, as much as, again, I liked seeing Luke Skywalker kick ass, the writing of this show is fucking horrible.
I see someone say that Luke never told them his name. Fair enough. But you would know what your commanding officer looks like. You know?
You would think, yeah.
And especially Luke Skywalker, of all people.
I mean, there were wanted posters with his face on it all over the galaxy.
Anyway, back to this hyperspace. Can this be possible, Stig?
I don't think so, but it doesn't ruin the episode either.
No,
It's
absolutely not.
This is a little nitpick, I think.
Well, it
But-
makes my point is it makes the whole ruse less plausible, or it should
Yeah.
make the ruse.
Yes,
less
it does.
plausible.
Yeah.
Like
Correct.
Gideon should have sniffed that out, especially since Mando just called him like a few days ago, saying, "I'm coming."
Yeah, that's
Ready or
true
not,
too.
Here I come.
Very true.
Yeah.
So they
well, you know,
basically jump. Basically, the plan is they're jumping out of hyperspace in the Imperial shuttle. She's just basically explaining how all she cares about is getting the Darksaber. So they jump out. Can I also just point out? Sorry, she is such a bad actor.
She reminds me of Michelle Rodriguez. She always looks like someone has pissed in her tea.
Pissed. She's always pissed off. It's just like, and it's not acting. Like the way she emotes, it's not good. It's
It's like try to
very-
look pissed. Try to look pissed for this poster, please.
And but the funny thing is even when she's trying to look badass, like she's trying to look like she's tough as fuck and shit, like it just comes off as so cheesy. It
She
bad. Horrible.
It reminds me of her in Avatar.
horrible.
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez.
Yep.
Yeah, she kind of comes off as a female version of the of your average thug in a Van Damme movie. That is just standing there looking tough, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get to a shot. Basically, what happens is that's all right. So they come out of light speed. Basically with Boba Fett pretending that he's trying to take them out, the Imperial shuttle, and they basically want access to his ship as like an emergency. It's emergency. We're under fire. We need to get on your ship. Please protect us. They then let the TIE fighters go. Now, when Moff Gideon first sent out the TIE fighters, I was a bit like, okay, maybe he does know he's going to, put both ships under pursuit or something like that. Because again, Mando just told him that he's coming and something like this happens where a Imperial shuttle needs an emergency landing. But no, he sends out a couple of TIE fighters. They start pursuing Slave One while the shuttle basically makes a run for the entrance there at the front of the ship. It's like the vagina.
I had another one of those logical questions.
Yeah, go.
Boba Fett, who watched his father get beheaded by a Jedi, why would he risk anything to try and help a Jedi?
The child. Because he made a deal. Because he made a deal with
and he's
Mandalorian. and
He's
he's
Mr. Honorable now.
honorable.
Except for at the end of the episode and
Yeah.
the teaser for the upcoming show. Which I will say this, like, kudos to this team for keeping this shit under wraps.
Yeah, the secrets that they kept.
The secret, not just that that Mark Hamill's in this episode, but also that like we're gonna get the Boba Fett series in like a month.
No, it was 2021. So wasn't it late 2021?
I thought it said.
I don't know.
Maybe it is.
I can't remember.
Well, within a year. I mean, that's still pretty.
Yeah, December 2021.
Oh, December 2020.
Fair warning about that
Year
one.
away.
That looks like shit.
Heard something, and the ending to that mini series most likely will piss off a lot of fans.
Because it'll end with Boba Fett dying and Fennec Shan taking over the throne of Tatooine. God, fucking where are we going with Star Wars? Retcon after retcon, that's where we're going. So basically, they're still trying to execute TIE fighters out through the vagina. And the Imperial shuttle is trying to go into that vagina while the TIE fighters are coming out. It's like
I think
ping
it's
pong.
more a case
like
of Uranus.
It's like ping pong balls, you know.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to stop making stupid analogies. Sorry, Stig, what was that?
No, I was just saying it's more of a case of Uranus than a vagina.
Oh yeah, maybe. It's like shitting out TIE fighters. Anyway, just as they're getting really close now, again, the way they make these ships land, don't they have repulsor lifts or something that stops them from actually sliding? They're not planes. They go in and they and then land, don't they? Like,
Yeah.
am I just stupid, or is this?
Now you see them land in the OT.
No, you see them land all the time. They all have vertical liftoff and take liftoff and landing. So there's no reason to design a ship like this with this like catapult TIE fighter thing. Like, I don't know, what a fucking shit design. Because if that's the only way your TIE fighters get out of the ship, like, wow, pretty easy to like.
And that means that they can't all just come in at the same time. If they need to get out of a battle really quickly and they want to get all the TIE fighters back into that ship one at a time, imagine how hard that's going to be. Let me just do a couple of circles while you get this one in. We'll do a couple of circles like it's like an actual airport. It's fucking retarded. Anyway,
Ghost Rider, the pattern is full.
Yeah, exactly. But again, the way this
I don't get this design at all.
I understand that this ship comes in hot, right? But even still, that whole sliding landing thing, like, wouldn't it come in hot and then like how, you know, in that episode where Mando was dropping into the atmosphere really quickly, the one where the Mon Calamaris that can't be excellent mechanics that are supposed to be excellent with technology and stuff like this are just shit. Like when he comes in for landing in that one, he's coming in real hot and then he hits the jets like real quick. What? Like, I don't get that with these landings. Like, it's like the Millennium Falcon on that fucking planet in Force Awakens when it slides across the ice. Wouldn't he just hit the fucking repulsor lifts? Or whatever the fuck they're called. I don't even know if I'm saying the right fucking thing. But anyway, you know what I mean. It's just, again, it's things like this that just make me go, like, where, like, not where is it gone? It's fucking gone. The continuity's just fucked. The law's fucked. They don't understand how all of this stuff works. So, yeah, basically it just slides in, and then the door opens, and we just start blasting away. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Women in power! And they're just running out of the ship when there's troopers everywhere. They barely get fired upon.
You are
barely get fired upon.
You are patently wrong, sir. They are not running. They are lightly jogging. They're not even in a fucking rush. They're just like, and look at them. They're all spread out. The two taking point are the ones that don't have Beskar on.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Sorry, I'll be right back.
None of them are taking cover. Like, it's just fucking dumb. And who designs these ships? Really, I gotta know. Like, so the hangar bay can't be sealed off if somebody's like invades the hangar bay. Like, they can't, like, there's no remote way to lock the doors leading into the hangar bay. Like, so what if the hangar bay gets depressurized? If the force field at the end of the vagina tunnel like fails and they need to, like, the whole ship depressurizes then, or do some doors automatically close? Like, if you know you have an invading force in a particular area of the ship, can you not close the electric doors and seal them from the bridge? Am I wrong? Or am I just disconnected? Hello?
I don't know. Rhino muted himself.
Oh. Alrighty.
Yeah,
Rhino, you're muted in case you didn't know.
This shot reminds me of, what is it, Endgame?
I'm so sorry. I was listening. I said I'd be right back. I was just getting...
I didn't hear that.
Oh. Yeah, it reminds me of Endgame. Which is, you know, fine if it just happens to be only female characters in there, but it's like they set it up for this though.
Oh, they certainly did.
Because they got rid of the male Mandalorian.
Excuse me.
No reason.
Yep. And again, it's like Biggles is saying, like machine gun. I mean, it's machine gun. Oh my god! I just read one. Anyway, it's a video game. Like these guys are literally like this is what I would do in a video game. I would literally run out the door just shooting because I know that if I die, I can just respawn.
It looks like a
exactly.
cutscene from one of the Mass Effect games.
Yes, I went outside to fight the wildlife. Just start beating up a kangaroo. Just this fucking Mandalorian shit's pissing me off that much. I just go outside and start beating up a kangaroo.
They are so cavalier and like so arrogant and cocky as a team as they go through the ship too. It's just fucking irritating.
They go through this entire ship without stopping, just shooting. I put a clip up on my review.
No big deal.
Like they just infiltrate the ship. He says, "Let's get the Dark Troopers up and running." They're charging up while they've cleared the way. Mando's going off for the child, so this is all just a distraction. Look, the troops are just there. They've literally run out the door, and the funny thing is the door's narrow. So all these troopers needed to do was aim at the door and fire, and they would have hit something. It's so like. It's so funny. I did my review, and there was a person in there saying this guy's not a real Star Wars fan. He's just hating. Like the stormtroopers were fucking dumb in the original. And I said, can you please give me an example? All I remember from the originals was Obi-Wan Kenobi saying that only Imperial stormtroopers can be this precise, specifically telling Luke that. And the only reasons why it was dumbed down was because Luke Skywalker was supposed to get lured into that trap, not get killed on his way there. All the other times was Darth Vader had a tracker on the ship, and of course that was the plan to allow them to escape. Like, I don't understand where this comes from.
Well, look at the opening of Episode 4. Stormtroopers gunning down a bunch of rebels in a tight passageway. I mean, they shoot 12 of them at least.
You know why no one gets shot in this? Because none of the characters are red shirts from Star Trek.
Yeah, they have. You know
what I'm saying? Like none of them are allowed to be killed. They're all highlighted characters. Excuse me, sorry guys. They're all highlighted characters.
Look at Filoni though. He created Bo-Katan. He created Rex. He created Ahsoka, all of those people. He never kills off any of the main characters. He killed Kanan, but still, they just survive everything all the time.
Yeah.
He even invented time travel to keep Ahsoka alive.
Is it a middle finger to the movies? I don't really think it's a middle finger to the movies. I think that they're trying to give the fans an apology. And again, I said earlier in the stream, it was nice to see. It was nice to see Master Luke Skywalker in sort of all his glory kicking ass. Stig has made the point that against that many Dark Troopers, he should have been killed. And that's a fair point if they were real Dark Troopers. But again, it was nice to see. It doesn't repair anything. It doesn't fix anything. And I don't think it really gives a middle finger to the movies. I think it just, again, they're trying to apologize.
I think the fact that they're trying to pass it off as like, if this was a good episode through and through, I'd be more inclined to believe that. But this is such a sloppy shit episode.
Mm-hmm. It's all just
quarters of it.
That scene.
Just to get to that one, it's Rogue One kind of all over again. And I did kind of find it a little bit insulting because it's like, here, we've been shoveling shit at you for the last 5 years and telling you to eat it, and now we're giving you one Hershey's Kiss.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
that one is covered in shit too. So.
Fuck off if you think it changes anything.
That's right.
I know it does with a lot of fandom menace people, but not all of them. But I'm speaking specifically of some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fooling them, but not me, man.
Oh, just wait for the outcry when it turns out, yeah, this got KK a new contract.
Yep. Now, can I just point out that these troopers again are literally walking into blaster bolts. They are not firing shots. When these two troops here show up, right? These two, Fennec and Gina Carano, fucking what's her name, Cara Dune, take out these two troopers. A couple more, I think, come around the corner and they take those out as well. But then these troopers come from behind, right? These ones here, and they haven't blasted them, but they're just waiting enough time for these two to show up from the sides on their fucking jetpacks. I've got to play this. I don't care if this fucking stream gets fucking thing. These guys, look at them walking. How many steps did they just take? And they haven't fired a fucking shot yet. But
Guns
yet
raised and trained on the target too. That's not like they're
fucking
holstered.
dumb. Fucking dumb. This is so fucking dumb. And again, it's like Greg was just saying. All of this was designed just to get up to Luke Skywalker so that everybody's brain could be turned off from the shit that they just saw, right? And go, oh, Luke Skywalker, look at this.
Yeah.
They turn around, haven't fired a shot, and these two come up and just take all of them out. They still haven't fired a shot. Women
Yeah, they had like half a minute to shoot.
Done.
Just shoot anywhere.
Done.
Yeah, shoot forward.
Yeah.
Is that good television?
It
Is that
now.
good television? Fuck off.
Nope.
So they then have their cocky little thanks moment. Boba Fett, fucking Mando fucking he's just sneaking around basically behind the scenes. They're still causing this distraction. This is another scene. Hold on a second. Okay, they literally walk into this warehouse room, right? Watch Fennec Shan over here. It'll cut to her. One shot. Takes out that trooper over there. Does a roll. Bang. Takes out another trooper. This guy standing over here has just heard and seen two of his troopers go down right behind him.
It looks like he's looking right at her. Oh, no, it's not. His back is turned.
Right. Walks backwards and bang, bang, bang. It's honestly fucking retarded.
And here's what I was talking about, where they're taking wrestling moves to like throw him to the ground and then shooting him point blank instead of just shooting him.
Yeah.
Like, why are you wrestling? Like, you have your gun, just shoot him in the head.
What's up with the punching and the kicking when the fucking blasters go straight through the armor anyway? You're getting them with one shot. It is literally, if people want to say that at least it's not woke, watch this episode and tell me it's not turning woke. Yeah, we saw Luke Skywalker, awesome. He was awesome in all his glory, whoop-de-doo, right? It doesn't fix a damn thing, and Kathleen Kennedy's still in control, and thanks. Okay. Moving on. They just clear out this room just like every other room. They're literally walking through. Look at this. They've just walked through. Okay. Now watch this one. Fucking there's a trooper back here. Right? You can see my cursor. There's a trooper back here. Watch what happens. Doesn't fire a shot. Doesn't fire a shot. Doesn't fire a shot. Bang!
It's like watching someone play Doom with cheat codes.
Kind of, yeah.
Again, I know there's people out there that watch this episode, saw Luke Skywalker, and felt the same way that I did. But fucking goddamn. Goddamn. People want to say, fucking Jon Favreau, you're doing a fantastic job. Dude, you're doing a fucking shit job with Star Wars. You might have done a good Iron Man. You might have been good in fucking whatever else, right? But this is fucking garbage writing. Garbage. Garbage.
garbage execution here because as far as the script went, the script probably said they rush through a room and fight some stormtroopers. That's probably what the script said.
Dude, they're literally, and again, it's all the women. They're just, bang, bang, bang. Let's get through it. Now.
I can't believe I let you get through that and you missed something there.
Sorry, go on.
Can't believe you missed it.
What did I miss?
Fennec literally fucking Matrix dodges a blaster bolt in this episode.
Oh, she does too. Where is that?
She literally fucking Matrix dodges a fucking blaster bolt.
Yeah. Here, there.
Boom.
There it is. Let's go back again. Watch this. She literally ducks it.
Yeah, that's some Jedi power right there.
Oh, she gets a shot through there as well. So I'm just going to pause for a second. Just pause for a second. Like I can't say I'm sorry anymore because it's fucking shit. If you sit there and you're like, that was sick, fucking you're retarded. Oh man. Here we go. Boom. Boom! I'm going to just duck out of the way and then Cara Dune comes in. She doesn't even shoot back. It's Cara Dune that comes and shoots that trooper.
Yeah, she's psychic. She knows Cara Dune's coming. But
and look at the other two troopers there to the left of Cara Dune that are looking right at her and not shooting.
They haven't shot a shot. They're just running in. They're running into blaster bolts.
This is
running into blaster bolts without firing a shot. They're halfway through the ship and they haven't been shot at once yet.
Yeah, but this is like every Rebels episode ever, right? Because they do it all the time. What's her name? Sabine.
Yeah.
She and Ezra keeps dodging blaster shots from like 2 feet away. I'm not kidding. They do it over and over again.
I will say that like going through most of this episode, I'm thinking to myself because I watched it twice because I clip stuff out to do the Tuscan Bob review. I was thinking to myself, this is a bad cartoon when I'm watching here.
It's
like
Rebels
all the way up until Luke shows up. I'm like, this is a bad fucking cartoon.
Yeah. This is live action Rebels.
Sorry, guys, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, those fight sequences were inexcusably bad. And again, like your protagonists or your antagonists are just completely useless.
Yeah, and that's what happens all through the Clone Wars and Rebels as well. As soon as one of the villains encounter one of the main characters, their IQ drops to 35.
Yeah.
And they get, level drained. I mean, look, it happened to Grievous, it happened to Maul, it happened to Vader, Tarkin.
Yeah, it's some horrible level banding effects going on in the Star Wars universe.
And Thrawn is a complete moron on the Rebels.
You know what it is I think they're like, okay, we won't make any more Mary Sues. We'll just make normal people, but then make the bad guys just super retarded. So they look overpowered.
If the stormtroopers were this goddamn bad, it's hard to believe the Empire ever conquered anything. It really is. Like, anyway.
They're worse than the Roger droids.
I want to show this scene as well because, of course, this is where we get the scene where Cara Dune goes, my gun is jammed. But they're literally running down this hallway. Fire. There's troopers. Okay, they get... Let me just pause. This is where a gun's jammed.
Again, why is Fennec and Cara Dune the characters who don't have Beskar armor? Why are they leading point? Why are they on point in this thing?
Yeah.
They should be behind the two that have Beskar.
And she goes, I've got you, right? She goes, my gun's jammed. Now there's only one gun against 4 guns. She goes, I've got you. She just took out this guy over here. She's about to take out this guy over here. 2 shots have been fired. She's taking out 2 dudes, right? Bang, right? And then bang, another one. And then she just comes over and starts hitting them with a jammed gun, right? There's fucking troopers that can literally shoot her right there. Oh, my God. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And then you get dumb fucks like Star Wars Theory crying live on stream because it was so emotional at the end. My God, this is fucking dumb writing. I'm sorry.
I would say not
I
writing here,
shouldn't
just
say that
dumb
because
execution.
I shouldn't say that. As much as I don't like Star Wars Theory, even Anna, that Star Wars girl, was tearing up on her live stream. She was watching it live with Cecil, and she teared up at the end. And I will say they did the emotion well in that. They definitely...
Shouldn't that scene lead to anger, though? Because that scene leads to The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Nothing's been fixed. It's actually worse now, because if Luke is that trained and that powerful at this point, right? 25 years later, with 25 years more training, he gets beaten in 20 seconds by Rey.
I think in the case of probably Anna, it was more the Mandalorian saying goodbye to Grogu.
Yeah, I think it was that. I just wanted to make sure it was still alive.
The complete and total, pretend version of E.T. It was Elliot saying goodbye to E.T.
And, just for the record, it's completely okay if someone liked it.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely, Stig.
Yeah, this is just our personal opinions about the show.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm going to disagree. It is not okay if you like it, because if you like this we're going to get more of it, and I find that grotesque. So I'm not okay with it.
That's a fair call too. That is an absolutely fair assessment as well.
I'll gatekeep. I don't care what people call me.
And that's kind of the point that I made in one of my previous
I don't care.
videos.
I will gatekeep.
It's as much as our responsibility as anybody else's to keep this canon straight. It's like I said in my rant video the other day. Yeah, I kind of agree with both of you there. Like, it's hard because it's like I said, I don't really want to take away from anyone's enjoyment of seeing Luke in that moment, but you can't just look at that and go, yeah, Star Wars is saved. It's the best thing ever. Go.
Disclaimer here. If you're so weak-minded that it bothers you that somebody on the internet doesn't like the fact that you like something...
Yes, well, I did.
Your mom made the wrong choice.
Wow, that's a statement. Well,
really grow a fucking sack. I don't like if you don't like that. I don't like you. Fucking who cares? Who the hell am I to you?
Yeah, and just because we don't like this show and we're saying that this and that scene is shit, and so's the writing. That's not a personal attack on people that liked it.
True too.
And I've noticed Twitter seems to not grasp this, because I get accused of personally attacking people.
Yeah, well, I've been accused of not being a real Star Wars fan, and that I'm just a hater. And I got a lot of. I think after my last couple of videos, I think I got like 5 or 6 downvotes, like almost immediately on my review.
Aubrey Noss got flooded with trolls.
Yeah,
the other day. That was people that were fans of the show. They started attacking OG Star Wars and Lady Toriel of all people as well, saying that Lady Toriel should be raped. That's what they said.
It's horrible.
Yeah, jeez. And that's the people that get pissed off because we don't like this show. Spot the hypocrisy, right?
Well, I don't know. Like, why do people need to have what they like validated by other people? Like I said, just fucking grow a sack. Honestly, like, I don't like the show. I don't like people who like the show. So what?
I liked Prometheus, but I get why.
I can't stop you from enjoying it. Like, I have no power over you. Enjoy it. But I'm not going to pussyfoot around and say that, like, I think it's great that you enjoy it, because I don't.
Yeah, I watched Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers review. He talked about that specific scene, and he just really liked it, and he just wanted to be in that moment. And again, that's fine. But if Jeremy can't sort of step back and take a look at these things and see how bad it is, I don't know really what we're fighting for then, if you know what I mean. I think the fight is over. I think we've already lost.
I mean,
Kathleen Kennedy's still there. The success of The Mandalorian has guaranteed that. And the wokeness has definitely come into this episode. and we've lost the fight. So that's why, like in my previous videos, I've been saying I'm out. I'm out of Disney Star Wars. I'll still sit here and review it and tell people how bad it is and have a good laugh over it now. But my Star Wars is the expanded universe, and I'll live and die by that now.
Yeah, and I've seen people,
I've separated the two.
a lot of people saying, for years, we should never bend the knee to this and that, and
We're bending the knee to the Mandalorian.
Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah.
It's okay to like the Mandalorian, but just a few days ago, us EU fans were told to just, if you don't like it, suck it up. So we are to bend the knee, and not everyone else, or what is it? It's getting confusing.
Yeah. Again, I want to say, like, if you enjoyed it, or like Jeremy, he enjoyed that scene, or whatever the case may be, it's fine. I don't agree necessarily. I liked the moment with Luke, but I don't agree that it's great. I don't think. I even watched EVS's review, and he was praising Favreau.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like
it's great.
That's right, but I just feel like people are seeing this and going, yes, this is what we wanted. Because, of course, we all wanted to see Luke Skywalker. We wanted to see Luke Skywalker in the Disney trilogy. We didn't get him. We've now been able to get a glimpse or a taste of what they could have done. And that's clouding a few people's thoughts on some of the other outpoints that are actually in this episode. And, again, if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. But I just feel like once these guys, especially somebody like EVS, I think he's quite an intelligent guy and all of that sort of thing. One of the smartest guys I think I don't know, but know. I think once he sort of steps back and starts taking a look at some of the story points, I'm kind of hoping that people will actually see it for how bad it is. Yes, you can like this moment, or you can like this scene, or whatever it is, but that you can't praise this storytelling. This is really, really bad. I mean, I've just shown you. We've been going now for an hour and 42 minutes nearly, and we've been going through this, and you've seen the outpoints. You've seen the wokeness. You've seen things that are actually wrong with it. It's got to mean something. We can't sit here and praise it all day long just because of Luke Skywalker coming in and kicking ass.
Yeah, I mean, 2 minutes isn't going to wipe away a whole episode of woke.
No, that's right.
But like I said, if people liked it, great. I thought the Luke scene was pretty good, but you need to take into account what's happening later too, right?
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I saw a bunch of people going, oh yeah, we need to support this because Star Wars is now going in the right direction, and I'm like, it's still going towards the sequel trilogy. That's always been the direction they're headed.
Yeah, and I don't see it going in the right direction. I think cosmetically, superficially, maybe, but like the underlying issues are still there, and bad writing is still bad writing. And I look at this, I'm like, how these guys are going to manage 3-4 shows? And
Yeah,
they can't manage. They can't
they
manage
can't
one
even
very
manage
well.
one. Yeah,
That's sorry. It's just not good enough. Hire some real script writers. Like, you can give them the outline, but hire some real script writers.
yeah.
Just have someone who actually knows Star Wars, has watched the movies. Have one of them write a script. It's not that hard.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just going to go off.
It's just logical things as well. I mean, just basic common sense stuff that's lacking in these things.
Yeah,
And
which
then
means
the lore
it's
on
sloppy.
top of it makes it even worse. Yeah, it's just sloppy.
Sorry, guys. I'm just going to go off screen for a bit because I think I look really bad. So I don't my head's hurting a little bit. So I just don't want to. Anyway, let's just continue. So, sorry, I completely interrupted you there and moved on. So we're now getting to the point where Mando's
that should be like a cue, you know.
What?
Just
I'm ignoring your point and moving on.
Yeah, on every stream, I just ignored your point and moving on.
I should have done that. That was really rude.
It's kind of like what Savage from the Mythbusters would be like. I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Yep. Like I heard you. I ignored it. Moving on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lethal. I'm not. I again with this episode and late as this season has gone on, I haven't been expecting too much out of Mandalorian. It's just pissing me off that there's a lot of people out there that aren't seeing the flaws in it, and we're being attacked for pointing out the flaws. It's so funny. I watched EFAP just quickly. I watched EFAP doing the Mandalorian, the mini EFAPs, and fuck, they've been great. And it was really funny. They were saying
those are great.
They were saying that this show, aren't they? They were saying this show was like Batwoman with a budget. And they're also saying like they're being criticized big time. Like they're being called haters. They're being called this. They're being called that. And it's so funny. They're saying how that they're giving this the same treatment. It's the same format that they do every other show with. And they said that the only real reason that they can explain where this hate is coming from the EFAP audience is because it's the Mandalorian and it's something that they like. And I completely agree with them on that statement. You cannot criticize Star Wars if people like it. It's weird. It's such a weird thing. Anyway, they made some great points on EFAP. If you haven't checked it out, go and check out Muller. I think he actually uploads them to Muller, his Muller account. So go and check that out. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're on Muller.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just continue moving on here. So then it cuts to Mandalorian coming up to where the Dark Troopers are locked in. The doors are opening. He's like, no. And he's running over there to try and lock it up before they all come out. And they're moving towards the door. And one of them just happens to get through. Like he grabs, there's his hands there in between the door. Anyway, he gets through. And this is where, again, I point out on my my review, the Mandalorian gets punched in the head now.
There. Right there, he should have crushed his neck.
Yeah, but instead of crushing his neck, he picks him up and then just, hang on, let me just pause. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There's no best guard protecting the neck.
Bang. Now, the best guy's stopping him. But I made a point that in season 1, Cara Dune punched him in the helmet once and he hit the deck hard, right? Yep. And he was down. Like, it actually hurt him. It didn't hurt her hand, but it hurt him. And now he's being pounded by a Dark Trooper in the face. That sounded so funny. He's being pounded in the face by a Dark Trooper. Anyway, yeah, and he's sort of stunned a little bit, but he's not like, he should be like really hurting, I would have thought. But anyway, he beats this Dark Trooper by eventually sticking the spear through it. He lights him on fire after he gets punched in the head a couple more times. Then
it's not like stabbing spears straight through metal requires any kind of strength, right?
No, but it's Beskar. It's easy. It goes through like
it's Beskar.
It goes through metal like butter.
Apparently,
yes,
like a hot knife through butter. Sorry, I should say. So he kills this Dark Trooper, and then he literally walks over to the thing and pulls the lever, and they get sucked out the airlock. Now, it's so funny. It's kind of like a callback to the previous episode in this season where they get locked in the control room, the cargo control room, and they suck all the troops out of the airlock. I don't understand how every room can be like, do you know what I'm saying? Like right at the edge of the ship where it actually is space on the other side of that wall. Anyway, and I don't understand why that would even be there.
Yeah, that's really, 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 really dumb ship design. Why would you have an airlock there or an outside exit there. When do these dark troopers ever need to exit into space? Like
They
right there
don't.
in an emergency.
But if they're in the atmosphere, they can fly out. From
That's
that
true.
Right.
That is, there is a point there, because if they are in atmosphere, then it could be a quick, easy way to get these troops out and patrolling quick.
Yeah,
So
I still wouldn't put the door in their storage hangar bay or in their storage bay.
No, the door. The controls to open it, but it should have been next to the door.
Yeah, they should have been like
Yeah.
in here somewhere over here.
Yeah.
And when the door gets opened, shouldn't it just like one of those fields just automatically go up as well?
Muller, he's just put up episode 6. There you go, of The Mandalorian. Go and check that out, guys. Funny as. Yeah. Anyway, that's a pretty stupid design.
So it's pretty much confirmed that Cara Dune is about twice as strong as a Dark Trooper now.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Yep.
that's what that means. So she's trying to unjam her gun here, and we get another woman empower moment. Let's check this one out. Oh, I got it working. Let's go, ladies. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew.
This is retarded.
He's losing it.
This is another example of off of an elevator. Like throw a grenade.
Have they fired a shot yet? Oh man,
I'm unsure actually. One maybe.
maybe. I'm sorry, I just can't get by this.
Did you take some were those happy pills that you took?
No, it was literally just some Nurofen. Do you have Nurofen over there? Nurofen's of ants.
This is Rhino losing it.
Ibuprofen.
Yes.
This is me actually being able to now separate Disney Star Wars from actual Star Wars, and I can now sit there and laugh at this. Like it's weird because I don't like it angers me, but I'm turning that anger into comedy. Anyway, it's fucking stupid. I mean, look at this shit. They're literally running in, bang, bang, bang. I'm gonna kick you down and then I'll shoot you. Like. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. This is what Star Wars is reduced to. Woohoo! So there, they clear that whole place out. Mando takes out the guards. She's shocked that Moff Gideon's not on the bridge.
He is choking the guy, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no armor on the neck. The same thing is the case for the Mandalorian. There's no armor on the actual neck. Which means the Dark Trooper could have just snapped his neck when he grabbed him.
Should have punched his neck right off, you know.
Yeah.
But, like his helmet should have gone back into the other metal because like you see him punching through doors later.
Yeah. He could have just squeezed and crushed it too.
Yeah.
So he takes out the guards, and
Handcuffs on a Force user. Yeah, very smart.
yeah, I was saying that in the last episode when they put them on him. I'm like, that's going to actually stop him, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not how the Force works. Well, see, they're glowy, so they have a magic.
So they have a magic thing that
they have.
They're
made of. They're made of bullshitium.
No, they're made of Eastalamiri.
No,
They're made of Eastalamiri.
It's a metal. It's bullshitium. It's going to be in a comic book.
Oh yeah, the Guide to Handcuffs in the Star Wars Galaxy by Pablo Hidalgo, who has tried all of them.
It'll be in a book. Don't worry. We'll explain it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Moff Gideon is holding the Darksaber above the child, and of course Mando doesn't want him to harm the child. So they have a slight discussion here about how Bo-Katan wants this saber, and that's all she wants, and because it leads to power, which is true, definitely. And Mando is saying, I don't care about the saber, I just want the child. And he says, well, I've got all the blood that I need from the child, so deal. If I get to keep the saber, you can take the child. And he goes, okay, we will complete this. Let me just switch off the dark saber, and you can take the child. So he walks over, And hang on, I went too far. He walks over and goes to pick up Zed Child. And while he's picking up Zed Child, Moff Gideon gets angry. Now, again, I will say, Jeff made a point earlier about the acting in this. It was bad. It wasn't really that good. It wasn't. It wasn't what he was like in season one. His performance in season one was very intimidating. He was very good, at least in the performance wise.
I think a person of his skill and craft finds this role to be incredibly boring.
Yeah, he's
like, it seems to me like he's just finds this role to be kind of beneath him and boring. And yeah, like for the 100,000th time in movies, the bad guy didn't really mean to put down his weapon, and he's actually going to attack. Like, I haven't seen that happen before.
That's a great comment.
Didn't see that happen like 3 times this season already.
Okay, so of course he then starts hitting him with the Darksaber. Now, the one thing that shocked me in this is how long it actually took Mando to pull out the spear. He's hitting him and hitting him and hitting him in the Beskar so many times. Well, I suppose, let me just
why does he need a Beskar spear though? Like, he can attack him with any weapon, a knife.
It takes him a long time to get that spear out, and he does this little thing, and then he grabs it out here. Right now,
you don't need Beskar to kill Gideon. If
his armor can block Gideon's shots already, the fact that the spear is made of Beskar just means that Gideon can't chop it in half. But like, Mando could use a knife, for example, or any other kind of weapon to attack Gideon with. He doesn't need the spear.
Yeah, or the rocket on his back or something.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, Gideon does say that, like, hey, I know you're out of your missiles.
You need to turn that into a T-shirt, or maybe I should. The Forest Moon of Consume. I like it. Okay, so Mando pulls out the spear here. Now, it's a perfect stop. Look at that. Now, in this scene, the blade, the saber blade, the dark saber, is actually moving up and down. Like, you can actually see it sort of slipping and sliding on the pole, right? Look at his fingers. Literally, all he has to do is go shink, and his fingers are gone.
Yeah, same thing with the Ahsoka fight.
You're not wrong. It's the same thing with the Ahsoka fight, but it was definitely more prevalent in this one because you could actually see. In that other fight, you couldn't really see the blades touching all that much, or the spear with the blade. In this, it was very. You could see the blade slipping and sliding. It was like it was still in the same spot, but you could see it moving. Let me see if I can.
I think you could in that other episode too, but yeah, it's the same shit.
This is, Jeremy Irons. Yeah. Jeremy Irons is a terrific actor. Ever see him in the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
No.
This is kind of like watching this actor in The Mandalorian. It's
right.
I'm sure it pays well, but I don't think he has to use all his acting skills in this. Let's put it that way.
No, I don't think so. It's so funny because even the Sasha Banks character acted really, really poorly. This character, Moff Gideon, was done really. And again, even going into when he takes him onto the bridge, like we'll get to that in a minute, but like this bit here, just really, really bad. It wasn't a great performance from Esposito, whatever his name is. Okay, so Mando beats him in combat, which means that he's won the dark saber, so it now belongs to him. And Bo-Katan is on the bridge again. Her performance in the first episode that she appears in, pretty good. Her performance in this episode, it wasn't great.
Yeah,
Do you agree?
she isn't making me believe the fact that she's almost 70 years old. No.
Well, despite that, just the performance, like, I don't know. Greg, what do you think about that? Oh, has he?
I
There he is.
I didn't think she was that good in the first episode that she was in this season, and I certainly think, like, when they're in the bar and she's talking to the Mandalorian, like her plans and everything, the only thing she didn't do is look straight at camera. Everything else was just straight, again, it's just straight soap opera villain shit. Like, these are gonna be my plans. And she was even like trying to use like her calm voice and everything. It just didn't work. And then
Yeah.
let's be fair though, the dialogue is shit. So you know, I don't know. I didn't buy her as Bo-Katan. I didn't buy her as a badass character at all. And in fact, she came off as being kind of a bitch in this episode. Like, I only did care because I'm in it for the sword, and then I'm not going to get the sword, so I'm pouty.
Yeah.
And she was just very unlikable as a character in this episode.
I agree with that completely. And just so you all know, just in case you haven't seen the episode and you want to know if there's anything in here that's going to offend you, this episode does contain boob armor. Just so you know.
Yes, it does.
Well, to be fair though, the boob armor is pointless because nobody's hitting them anyway.
Yeah, well, that's right.
true.
They actually could be running
They don't
down
need
those
it.
hallways. They could be running down those hallways completely naked, just with blasters in their hand, and they would still win.
I think you're probably right. They probably would still win.
They would. They
Yeah.
would. They would not get hurt. Again, there's no red shirts in this. There's no Star Trek red shirts. So
By the way, that meme isn't even really true in Star Trek. To just
no, I understand, but I'm just using that meme to give my point, basically, in this.
Okay.
That they can't
As a
kill
Star
off
Trek
anyone.
fan, I'm offended.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay. So basically what happens is Moff Gideon is saying to Bo-Katan, why don't you just start fighting him now? Because he can't give her the saber. He can't yield to the fight. She has to beat him for the saber. It has to be in combat for that to happen. Now, if I remember correctly, Sabine gave Bo-Katan the Darksaber in Rebels. Am I incorrect in saying that?
She did.
I'm sure Lord Vader would correct me if I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that Sabine gave Bo-Katan the saber and she was completely fine with accepting it. So this is, again, new lore, new retcon, new Disney trilogy, new Disney lore bullshit. Sorry, not Disney
Well,
trilogy.
to be fair, this is Filoni retconning his own damn
shit.
thing.
I know. It's fucking dumb. It's so retarded.
It's like 4D retcons.
Oh,
I just love that Gideon's whole basic thing is like, nah, you can't have it.
Yeah. You're going to have to fight him to take it. Anyway, I just think that was really stupid. The fact that he can't just go, well, I yield. I don't want the responsibility.
She doesn't deserve it.
You know,
She got to the bridge, he wasn't there, and she just stood there and pouted.
She doesn't deserve it. But again, I make the point that this is established in their own canon in Rebels that
the
Sabine gave her the saber. The same character received the saber just by saying, "Here you go."
yeah,
And now
just a few years ago.
This is the argument that I made in my rant video, right? It is our job, it is our responsibility just as much to point this shit out, to say, no, that is incorrect. That doesn't fucking work. You're fucking dumb because you've established, you, the creators, have established that this is okay. And now you're making it not okay. It's like with Boba Fett. Is he Mandalorian? Yeah, he's Mandalorian. Is he? No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. Make up your fucking mind. It's it's bad. It's bad storytelling. Because again, it just pulls everybody out of, except for the people that are blinded by Luke Skywalker, It's whatever. Let's move
Well,
on.
it's I saw someone on Twitter say that it's like dangling your keychain in front of a toddler.
Yeah.
So replace the keychain with Luke, and then I don't know. It works though. It seems to work. So
Yep, that's the exact question, Mara. The exact question. Why does she accept it from one person but not from another person? Because now they're trying to establish that there's going to be a conflict between Bo-Katan and Mandalorian, because now essentially Mando is the leader of Mandalore based on Bo-Katan's eyes, right? So she wants that mantle. She wants the power, right? But something happens to Bo-Katan very, very shortly. So while this is happening, he's having a good old laugh about it. Again, acted quite poorly. Who cares? Now, of course, the Dark Troopers make their way back into the ship, the ones that he sucked out the airlock. I don't know why it took them so long. If they got sucked out, wouldn't they just turn their things on straight away and fly straight back into the ship? I don't know. It took them a while.
You'd think
It took them a while to get there. There was a lot that took place between. I mean, there was the entire fight between Mando and Moff Gideon. Then there's this entire conversation that's taking place between Bo-Katan and Mando, and the Dark Troopers are just hanging out, waiting for their cue to enter the show again. So they all flying back in, as you can see here. And he's basically now saying, well, I'm going to survive. The child's going to survive. And by the end of all of this, you're all going to be dead. Ha, 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 ha. Dark Troopers.
I'm evil.
He basically covers up this gun that's on the ground because he gets pushed to the ground. We get another wooden face from Bo-Katan Light. The child seems to be very worn out, like very tired and sleepy and stuff. So he gets put on the ground. And the Dark Troopers pretty much come to the bridge. Another retarded face from Bo-Katan Light. And they're now getting ready to fight. We get our woman in power moment when they're all getting ready.
Yeah, none of them are taking cover though.
No, they're just standing there. And, this is where he's starting to taunt them about, I'm going to survive and you're going to die. I find it so funny that these Dark Troopers also pound the shit out of this door, and then they just happen to say, open the doors, when, like, Luke's at the door, and the doors just happen to open nice and easy when they're actually bent in, and they slide, like, hang on, I need to be on screen to show what I'm actually pointing out here. So the doors slide like this, right? There's obviously a narrow gap like any other door that the door would slide into, right? But now these doors are being completely bowed because these droids are punching the shit out of them, putting this massive bow in it. So if there's a bow, how does it slide into the gap that it no longer fits into? I don't know.
Yeah, and then someone shows up, right?
Explained in a comic.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a second, Stig. We're almost there.
Yeah, because that one is a biggie in terms of plot holes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this actually is a plot hole.
I'm sorry,
yes,
what?
now, Stig's going to explain this because there's an X-Wing that just rolls up, right?
Yeah.
Let me just go back. There it is there. Okay. Yeah. So X-Wing rolls up. Bo-Katan goes to the screen. Let me see if I can get to the shot where... No, I think I missed it.
Oh, the fact that it shows up at all is a plot hole. Because
how did Luke know where it was?
Yeah, because they explained this completely in a previous episode, that Baby Yoda has to broadcast his force presence from that mountain. And he has to keep doing it from that mountain, right? He can't move. He's supposed to be there.
Well, Stig, that hasn't been absolutely established that way. You can't say that that's the case. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, people are going to come up with,
it'll be in a comic book that Beam was not going up into the sky. It was being like Yoda was Grogu was
I know.
absorbing that, and he himself became a beacon. It transformed him.
Yeah.
Like the chamber in Superman 2.
Luke became a tracking fob.
Oh yeah, that's literally what happened.
Luke became an actual tracking fob. So the child shoots his beam out. The beam hit Luke, and Luke went, I know the DNA that I need to find. I'll go this way.
Luke Fobwalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he shouldn't be there. He shouldn't even know where they are.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So that's the first plot hole. Stig, do you want to explain the second one in regards to this actual thing coming into the ship?
Yeah.
Where's he parking?
No, it's not even that.
No, he should have gone splat.
Oh yeah.
And why should he have gone flat exactly, Stig? I don't understand.
Because of the shield, and you see this in the movies. One example
in their own canon in Rogue One. Yep.
Yeah, and in episode 4 when they're towing in the Falcon,
correct,
they say lower the shields to let the ship in, because the reason why you have those shields is to keep physical objects from flying into the ship.
Oh, like space debris, right?
Like space debris, enemy ships,
or even asteroids. For example, like episode 5, when they're in the asteroid field, and there's asteroids actually hitting the ships, but the shield blowing them up.
Because the ships that get hit by the asteroids, their shields have been taking a pounding before that because they keep getting hit, and as soon as the shields are out, they get smashed. But this one is there to keep things from flying back out into space or flying in. Mm-hmm. You know, it goes both ways, right? So Luke should have gone splat against that shield because it wasn't lowered.
Well, I mean, like let's say that they work differently now. Like, well, that's a pretty big design flaw because I could fly a drone ship into your hangar bay that's loaded with a bunch of explosives and take out your whole ship that way.
Oh yeah,
I get to bypass your shields if I go that way. Plus, what bay was he landing in? Like that wasn't the tunnel launching area. So
no, it wasn't because that's correct. Maybe it was that side hangar that the Dark Troopers flew back in through, possibly.
No, that's underneath, and they showed that room earlier with a walkway. Like in the Tusken Bao video, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is there a window on the bottom of the ship here?
Well, it couldn't have been the same entrance that they came in because there's a crashed ship in that entrance as well.
Right. So like when you get to them, the Dark Troopers boarding the ship, it shows them boarding, and then they land in that room. That's not a hangar bay. It's got walls that are maybe like 12 feet apart.
Yeah, and it looks like the hangar where they have the TIE fighters. You know, they just ship them out that through that shield when they're sending them out, but
well, it doesn't there because it's right from space. Like, there's no because you remember in the front one, there's these long projections that are alongside of it, like that like shoot the TIE fighter at like a railgun or something, and you can clearly see that that's not the case there. Yeah. Now, if there is another bay on the ship, which I would believe there would be more than one, then why would the only place that they can make the emergency landing be through the front? Why didn't the Imperials say, hey, don't come in the front, fly around to this hangar?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, when they were flying in and they're like, no, we're launching TIEs, go into this entrance.
Yeah, use entrance 2B instead of 1A.
Yeah, that's a good point too. But again, don't ask questions.
Right.
Just consume.
Just consume. And an X-Wing fighter couldn't possibly go in the front entrance because it's too narrow. Like, that Imperial shuttle had to fold its shields or its wings up in order to narrowly make it into that bay. An X-Wing can't fold its wings like that. So it had to be a different hangar bay.
just dumb. It's just dumb. It's bad. Again, it's bad writing, bad storytelling. So this is now, of course, the moment where Luke Skywalker comes in and starts kicking some ass. Now, again, the first moment that we see him, it's black and white. It's all through a monitor. Is it normal for these monitors to be in black and white, or should they be in color?
I don't know.
I mean,
I
it's
think
a
it's a
nitpick.
TV and movie thing where they're always in black and white. You would think that they'd be able to do color, but
It's a nitpick, but anyway. But then, of course, it cuts to Luke's perspective. You see the green lightsaber, and he does come in and kick a little bit of ass in here. Bang, bang, bang. He's just taking out these dark troopers quite easily, actually. Now, Stig, you've got a point to make on that.
excessively easy.
Oh yeah, Dark Troopers were pretty much a super weapon in the old EU, but that doesn't count anymore though. But still, if you're gonna rip off the EU, at least make the super weapons dangerous, you know? Because these Dark
These
Troopers
things are as retarded as regular stormtroopers, except for they punch harder. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's all they do is punch.
yeah, they're
Robot punch.
they're just as bad as the Roger droids.
I
Literally.
the
They kind of
the
are.
droidicas in episode 1.
Are better than these things.
Oh yes.
Two of them fight Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon to a standoff,
Yeah.
just with their shields and a pair of blasters on each side, right?
Yeah.
And
And,
those things were made 50 years prior to this.
Yep.
And these are supposed to be some badass fucking.
And these
droids.
are like Generation 3.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And
Like, it's nice seeing Luke attack shit and be, quote unquote,
can't
a
play
cool
too much
Jedi and everything. But when you make his opponents have such huge numbers and then be kind of so easily defeated, it takes away from the impact of him kicking ass. When you're like, okay, it's basically like Luke fighting less than younglings.
yeah. It's
It takes away, it makes it less badass if he mows through them super easy. It would have been better for them to have less dark, if you're going to write the episode, have less of those dark troopers and have them give them more of a fight.
yeah, have him kill the stormtroopers instead. You know, but the original Dark Troopers, right? 2 of them, I think it was, took out a whole military base of Mon Calamari soldiers. Just 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Wiped the whole damn thing. And you're telling me this is what they become? They just
Hello, Lady
stand there.
Tariel.
Yeah.
Member berries, yes. Sorry, Stig.
Yeah, I don't know. I get the feeling that Filoni or someone just looked at some Star Wars droids or whatever and went, these look cool. Oh, Dark Troopers. They look cool.
But they look
Yeah.
cool. Yep.
Same thing they
exactly
did with, Quinlan Voss in the Clone Wars. OG Star Wars and I have been reviewing the comics, and that guy has an insane storyline. And then he shows up on the Clone Wars, and he's just, the Rastafari surfer dude. That's what they reduced him to.
Yeah.
And to Lord Vader's point, like, yeah, they're going up against Luke Skywalker, but like, and I'm no EU expert, but what I've read, like, Luke Skywalker gets into binds all the time. Like, he's powerful, but he's not all powerful.
Yeah.
He's
So
not
what if-
invincible. He's not God.
Yeah, so what if he's Luke Skywalker? He's still just a Jedi Knight at this point.
Yes, a very powerful Jedi Knight, not something
Like,
I would want to trifle with, but like,
one thing that I will say is that Luke Skywalker in this scene is a Gary Stu.
Yeah, he is.
Because he doesn't really like, it's very easy. He has his hallway fight just like Vader in Rogue One. Yeah.
Lord Vader, he's the son of the chosen one, sure. But like Luke himself says, in this very damn episode, it's worth nothing without training.
Correct.
So whoever your dad was doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
Great potential's worth nothing without training. He does say that.
It impacts your potential. It doesn't dictate the result.
Yeah, it
Like,
means
you
you just
still
have
have
a
to
knack
put the
for
work
it.
in. And let's say, like, in the
One day
last,
will.
because this takes place like 4 or 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Let's say he's been training really, really hard. Like, I still think from a show perspective, to show these droids giving him absolutely zero effort after you spent several episodes building these things up to be the end all be all of bad guy enemies is just a bad story decision. Like, I'm fine with Luke being powerful, but then don't try and sell me for a bunch of episodes that these droids are the end all be all and it's like game over, man, when he's got them.
And yes, Rey is the chosen one now. But just to this point here, well, to be honest with you, the stormtroopers weren't a risk at all, or didn't bring any stakes to the table. The dark troopers, they kind of did when they came back into the ship originally, but then as soon as Luke shows up, there's no stakes again. It's just wipe out. Like I will give it to the fact that Luke was able to, again, kick ass, but you know, it's how many droids can he take on himself without? I mean, this is supposed to be a whole platoon of dark troopers. He even says a platoon. Can you it took you one and you used your last salvo, he says to Mando. And he goes, that was just for one. How about a whole platoon? What's it going to take?
Yeah, those forearm missiles are worthless anyway. But, like, so here's what the thing is, the droids that are on the bridge or outside of the bridge in front of the blast door, like, they just stopped and waited. Like, why weren't they just continuing to pound on the door and continue to their objective until Luke showed up?
Okay, now I
don't understand that.
I have a little bit,
and that would have added more tension.
I have a little bit of a theory on this, and Stig sort of did shut me down backstage, but it seemed like to me that these droids were, once Luke showed up, it's almost like he took sort of control over them, but as he was taking them out, he was losing a little bit of that control over them. But they never sort of fired at him. They always seemed like they were just a bit dumb after he rolled in. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
show him doing a battle meditation or something. Like, show it then. Just show it.
I agree with that. At least show something if you're going to do that.
You can't use the Force to basically alter the programming of a droid.
True.
You know, I don't know what he did, but it's like every damn Filoni show though that has the heroes encountering some kind of threat, and the threat level just drops just for them.
Yeah. Well, and like I want to see a powerful, strong, brave, but still brave Luke Skywalker. Like, I don't want to see God mode Luke Skywalker. And you know, we got accused of, you know, those of us who didn't like The Last Jedi, we got accused of like, oh, you just wanted, you know, super powerful, undefeatable Grandmaster Luke Skywalker. And it's like, no, that's never what we wanted. Like, we still want Luke. We don't want everything. We don't want God mode Luke Skywalker.
No, we just want him to
be in the fight.
Yeah,
and be powerful, but still, like,
Within
I don't want Jedi to be just another Marvel superhero.
Yeah. Look at what happened to Qui-Gon.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
He was a Jedi
they're not
master.
superheroes. They're not Superman. Like, they're vulnerable. They're not undefeatable. They can be very powerful, but still be vulnerable. And this, if you're going to put him up and have him just kind of just laying waste to things, then just use normal stormtroopers. Like, I guess don't build up these dark troopers to be like, you know, the end all be all, and then just have them like fucking melt.
All right. So moving on, Luke Skywalker is going through this ship, taking out all these dark troopers. Moff Gideon's been hiding this gun on the ground, this blaster on the ground. And while they're all distracted by watching Luke Skywalker through the screens, he grabs the blaster, turns, and I actually missed this on I said nobody got hurt or nobody died. He grabs the blaster, quickly turns, and basically blasts the shit out of Bo-Katan. She goes down. He then points the gun at Grogu. He dives in front and makes sure that he blocks it with his Beskar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, put the gun down or the blaster down, whatever. Nobody rushes to Bo-Katan's side to see if she's okay.
I assume she's okay.
Did you notice that? She doesn't get back up, right? But look at this. They've all got their blasters pointing at him, right? Bo-Katan's still on the ground. He goes to kill himself. She knocks him out. We cut back to Luke. Bo-Katan doesn't... Nobody seems to care that Bo-Katan's just been shot a million fucking times, all in the Beskar by the looks of things. I don't know. Did anybody else notice that?
I was shocked that one of the villains actually hit something.
Yeah, well, that's a fair point too.
She's at the end of the episode. She's standing up just fine.
Is she?
Yeah.
Yep, because it shows that shot of the six or the five of them, and it's Mando and then Fennec,
then I was
and
right.
then the two Mandalorians and then Kara.
Okay, so
she's
Grogu.
fine.
Okay, cool. So Grogu starts to put his hand on the monitor as he's watching Luke go through and killing all these droids, and this is where we get the hallway. Same scene, same sort of scene as Vader in Rogue One.
Yeah, this is the Rogue One scene.
Yeah, it's just
He
almost
comes in and he
Pretty
literally
much
just
exactly almost.
It's like they watched Rogue One and went, yeah, the fans like this scene.
that'll do.
And
Well, it's the scene that everybody talks about. So, like,
Force
yeah, it's
pull in
smart to
here,
put it in there.
bang.
Like that.
And then he does another spin and another push, and then he does a grab. Coming up real soon, he sees that he's enjoying what he's seeing, just like the rest of the fans. And we get he slices into him, and then he grabs him and just crushes him. Cool. And that's the end.
And, like, while that looked cool and everything, the crushing, I'm like, I just don't understand why Luke would do that instead of just using his lightsaber to finish him.
It's like that's right. It's like he's using his anger to crush it, as opposed to.
Well, it just seems like it seems like I said, it looks cool, but it just doesn't really.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it just doesn't make much sense. Like, why would you do that to take him out? I guess maybe it's a nitpick, but it looked.
Yeah, this is the point that I was trying to make. This is the point that I was trying to make about the doors. Look at this bulge, right, that they've pushed, and that's got to slip in behind this, right? Oh, no, it doesn't. There you go.
Oh, they just, the doors stop.
There you go. Sorry, my bad. I'll take back that criticism. It's still fucking dumb, but...
Cancel Rhino.
Yeah. Luke walks in, shuts down his saber, and...
It would have been cool if he would have said hello there.
Reveal. How did you feel when you saw it?
Well, I knew it was Luke going in. I mean, they give some hints. The glove you saw,
But like the de-aging or whatever, however they did it, how do you feel about the CGI or whatever it is that they're doing here?
It's okay. I don't think it's great. It's passable. Like, he seems to be missing a scar. So he healed from the from Empire Strikes Back.
True.
So like when they de-aged him, they gave him a little cosmetic surgery to get rid of that scar. It looks like from his car accident.
Oh yeah, yeah. He looks a bit clean.
It's fine. Like, it works. I would be. It's fine when the actor's participating in it. Like, I would strongly object. I object to them using deceased actors in such a way.
Is it possible for you to play that line where Luke talks about the training?
Okay, hold on. Let me jump out of here.
Yeah,
Let me put my headphones on.
find
Sorry,
it before
I
you
just
play.
want to get to the right point. I don't want to play any because even though last time I shared the sound but I didn't play any audio, but it's still copyright struck me. It's like the system still picked up sound in the background, even though I wasn't sharing it. So give me 1 sec. Okay, here we go.
I was gonna say I'm typing in. I might as well talk while you're looking that up.
Okay, sorry, I
Lethal
found
said,
it.
"Does he have the Infinity Stones?" I said no, and I was gonna comment too in the chat that it needs to be made out of Beskar, so they need to find that blacksmith chick from the first season to make a Beskar Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay, there is music going on in the background, so I'm gonna probably pause it a little bit.
If it's a John Williams, you'll get a hit for sure. It picks it
no
up.
matter what I do.
Yep.
Okay, it's John Williams. So.
Hey,
Well,
you know, to show the lines, put like what is with you and you're like anti subtitles.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, hang on. Let me then go back out and not share the sound because again, that's going to hit me, even if I don't share it here. No, that's what I did last time, and it still copyright struck me because it's like it hears the music, even though you're not sharing. I mean, you're not. Anyway, it didn't work last time like that.
Okay.
So, Bulba says to him he doesn't want to go with you. Luke extends his hand out to the child and says, "Come with me, young one," or something like that. And he looks at Mando, and Mando then looks at Luke and goes, "He doesn't want to go with you."
Yeah, it's the thing about training.
Yeah, he wants your permission.
Here we go.
Luke wasn't instantly like, "Nope, won't train you. You have an attachment to this guy. Nope, not training you."
Yeah. So he's strong in the Force. This is what you wanted, right?
Yes.
Stick?
Remember 2 weeks ago when you, OG Star Wars, and Mara and myself got attacked on Twitter for saying this? Remember that?
Yeah.
All kinds of, people that don't like Disney were telling us we were lying, and George had lied about this, and it was all bullshit. Here's Luke saying it.
Well, the funny thing is, it's basically been reiterated twice this season that training is required. Like,
Yeah.
He will not be safe until he masters his abilities.
Yeah, so where are those people now? They're being very quiet.
Yep. Well, it doesn't matter. It's like one week where, forgetting stuff that happened not so long ago, and another week it's like, this is garbage. Another week it's like, that was okay because we get like Skywalker. And then it's another week and it's, I don't know. You know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Mando gives the child permission. He touches him on the helmet. Oh, it's so cute. And then he takes his helmet off so that he can see his face, and he touches him on the face, and he's tearing up. And
see, now this I will say is the appropriate, logical, decent time for him to remove his helmet off.
Correct, I agree.
I will give it but it really just illustrates how needless it was in the previous episode and how stupid it was that, or was it an episode or 2 episodes ago, the one where he had to scan his face on the computer. But this, if you're gonna do a helmet removal thing, this is better than the back to spray in season 1. This actually meant something to the characters, so kudos there. That made sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, I think, owe OG Star Wars, Rhino, and Mara an apology. Just saying.
Sorry.
Not dickhead. All right, now I have to talk about this moment. There was at least 30 seconds of screen time where it literally cuts between R2-D2 and Grogu. There is no dialogue taking place. There is nothing being spoken. None of the other characters are talking. It's literally like they're watching these two have beeps and squeaks with each other. For literally about 30 seconds to a minute. Now, I made this criticism in my review. I've already been attacked by it in my comments. You can go and check it out. There's a little bit of a thread there. One of the guys came in and he's agreeing with what I'm saying, how the Mandalorian is shallow and all this kind of stuff. But he just threw this theory out there, and this was his theory, right? That it was R2-D2 that actually got Grogu out of the temple on Coruscant, right? There was another person that jumped into that. There was another person that jumped into that thread that goes, "See, this guy's not even a fucking Star Wars fan. He doesn't even know that R2-D2 got him out." So I asked the original guy, "Has that actually been confirmed, or is this your own sort of thing that you're coming up with?" He actually admits to it being his own thing that he's coming up with. And I'm like, okay, so R2 was with Anakin the whole time, and he even goes with him to Mustafar. So when did R2 ever take him off? But yet I'm still the fucking non-Star Wars fan. I'm the retard that fucking these dumb fucks. It's just, this is literally
so
a minute
R2-D2
time. Sorry.
Sense the future.
Go on.
Rescues baby or Grogu, gets him out of the temple, then goes back to the temple, waits for Anakin to come by and kill all the rest of the younglings, and then joins him for the trip to Mustafar. Okay.
It's so bad.
Sure, it'll be in a comic book.
I didn't comment with the other guy. The other guy that was okay, and he was, like I said, he was still agreeing with me. He was just throwing that out there as kind of like a theory. And he was really good about it. I commented and he commented back, and we had a bit of a conversation, which was really good. But there was this one retard in there saying, "See, this guy's just a fucking fraud, isn't he?" Fucking dumb fucks. I wish I was on screen for that because I would have liked to clip that. Anyway, again, there's literally about a minute or two, 30 seconds to a minute of screen time of literally nothing. None of the other characters are talking. They are literally watching these two beep and thing, and I'm sure that not one of them's actually understanding.
The beauty is this when they're doing that scene, they don't have to CGI Mark Hamill's face.
No.
So there's a cost benefit there.
Yep.
He can be in the scene, but it's shot lower because you got to be from the perspective of R2 and Grogu.
Oh, that's why they were saying that, because they thought that Grogu recognized R2, and that's what the conversation was going on. But there's no actual dialogue. There's no subtitles to tell you what these two characters are even saying to each other, if they are even talking to each other. Anyway, it's so stupid. And he goes, "I'll look after him," and he picks him up and says, "May the Force be with you." Literally walks away with him crying. There's Bo-Katan. She is standing up.
See,
that's
that's the shot I'm talking about. Yep.
Yeah, very good. Perfect. So yeah, no one dies. There's no stakes. She literally got hit a couple of times. She now obviously wants to kill him because he owns the Darksaber. Woman power led by a white male. That's perfect shot, actually.
Well, all he has to do is give it to Sabine, and then have Sabine give the saber to Tom again.
Loophole.
Perfect. Yep. Perfect.
Sabine's got the magic pass it on powers.
And then the episode ends. Now we will quickly go through the.
Oh, this part is so boring.
Oh yeah, this one where they kill off Bib Fortuna like they did Admiral Akbar, just as an afterthought.
Now this was so dumb. They didn't even. Did they actually announce that there was going to be a post-credit scene in this episode?
No.
Not to my knowledge.
It's so fucking dumb. Like, I didn't expect there to be one because we've never had one. So I didn't even see it. I didn't even put it in my review because I didn't go that far into the credits. I literally stopped at Jon Favreau.
Here's the stupid shit,
Do you
though.
want that?
Why are the Hutts...
He says McClunky.
Yeah, he does say McClunky. Oh, I need to find that. I actually need to find that. Let me get to the point. So, let me just get there. Stig, what were you going to say?
Why are the Hutts okay with this?
I agree. Why are the Hutts okay with this? It didn't just end with Jabba dying. Like, there are other Hutts that control other... Like, all the Hutts actually wanted control of Tatooine, and Jabba had it. As soon as Jabba died, the Hutts would have been fighting over who gets his territory.
They have a second Hutt on Tatooine. She's called Gordula the Hutt. She's an
Golgola,
episode.
that's right.
Yeah, she would
Correct.
just take over.
Anyway, we're on
But,
Tatooine.
yeah.
We get the twin sons. We get the guards walking in, and Bib Fortuna is sitting on the throne. Again, this is another bit where it's kind of like these guys all become the stormtroopers. They're all so fucking dumb that they don't shoot back. They've all got blasters and they don't do fucking jack shit. Actually, will McClunky actually come up in the subtitles?
I don't know. I'd be kind of curious. It might just say alien talking in or foreign language or something. Yeah, speaking Huttese. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's right at this moment. Let me go back 10 seconds. And, did I stop sharing sound? I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to just quickly do this. Do this. Sorry, guys.
Fucking McClunky.
Pause.
Ah!
Itcha McClunky. So they basically took one of George's lines that he decided to add into the Han shot first scene and add it to this. McClunky!
I noticed. I was really kind of bored by this, and then I heard McClunky, and then I was just like, "Fuck off!"
I was the same. That's funny. Now I find it funny that she walks in. This is fucking what's her name from Agents of Shield. May from Agents of Shield literally walks in, shooting everyone by herself. Right? Actually, let me. Sorry, go on, Stig. What were you going to say?
Mara made a point in the chat. Jabba the Hutt has a son. He's in the Clone Wars created by Dave Filoni. Why doesn't the son inherit Jabba?
Very true. I have to show you this. She literally walks in. Bang. That guy had a blaster in his hand. She took 2 steps down the steps.
Yeah. And you know how Bib could have solved this?
Bang.
Using the pit.
Yep. Just press the button and have them fall into the Rancor pit.
They all
This
become...
I thought he was going to try it because they're both standing. I noticed that they're both standing on it.
Yeah, she's literally...
She's standing right on it. Press the
But then
button.
again, Boba Fett can just jetpack right back up. So
See, Boba Fett then comes down the stairs after she's cleared the way because the woman's got to do all the action shit.
Well, you can just close the hatch again.
yeah, I guess.
And then, who cares what he says? He basically shoots him at point blank range, sits down on the throne. She comes over with a blue liquid, has a drink.
Yep, blue liquid
wipes
for
her
your
mouth.
legs.
Look at this.
There's a milkshake.
Yeah, that was good. And that's it. So that's the end
I
credit
don't
scene.
get the point of this. Like, why does he want to take over fucking Jabba's operations on fucking Tatooine?
So that we can
Like,
get
he's just
another
a simple.
series.
I thought he was just a simple guy trying to get around in the universe,
So that we can get another series, man. Backdoor pilot.
Yeah, but like you don't have to put it on fucking Tatooine. Now you're gonna have this. You're gonna have this show on Tatooine. You're still gonna have Mando visiting Tatooine. Then you're gonna have Kenobi on Tatooine. Get off of Tatooine.
Yep. Now, anyone out there that says that they enjoyed this episode, good for you. I'm not going to agree with you because it is a really bad episode. The flashy lights of Luke Skywalker, cool. Yeah, it was nice to see. Thank you for pulling on my feels. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Thank you for giving me member berries, and obviously prolonging my pain. Thank you, Disney. So, in all honesty, if I was actually supposed to rate this episode out of 10, as if I'm looking at it from the writing point of view, the storytelling, the wokeness, and all of this kind of stuff, it honestly gets like a 4. It honestly gets a 4, and the only reason why it gets points, like the 4 points, is because of the Luke Skywalker scene, and even that has its problems, has its flaws.
I'm giving it
Yeah.
a 2.
You're giving it a 2. What about you, Tuscan Bob?
I'm gonna I've been pretty much giving these things 2s and 3s. I think the whole way through. I would say this is pretty consistent with the other ones. Maybe I'll bump it up 1 worthless point to 4 because, yeah, it was nice to see it was nice to see Luke Skywalker, but see, at the same time, then I'm just insulted by it. Like,
Yeah, that's right.
You're throwing that in there, expecting me to go, "Ooh, it's got Luke Skywalker," so now all the other criticisms are going to go away, and it's like, nice try, but no, like it doesn't work that way for me. So yeah, I'm going to go back to 3. No bonus points for Luke.
Okay.
How they got there was ridiculous as always.
We got a 3. We got a 6 to 7.
Yeah.
Again, the writing for me is just so bad, and the stormtroopers, like, again, all of these things that happened in this was just to get to Luke Skywalker. It was like they almost rushed through it. It's like with the opening scene. How did we get here? Where did this Imperial shuttle come from? Where's it going from, and where's it going to? Like, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's not traveling at light speed. All right, cool. Now, how do we get to the planet that Bo-Katan's on? How do they know that she's there? Then we finally make a plan, and we just go in and bang, it's done. Like, we can just, yeah, like, woke woman power. Like, call me a hater if you want to call me a hater. It was garbage.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Boba Fett got to sit most of it out.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Boba Fett wasn't even really in this. He did that attack
I mean,
at the beginning.
he needed to do his thing on Slave 1, but like after they got onto the ship or whatever,
He was not there until that end scene.
the bridge, they should have like radioed for him and be like, "All right, you can come back. We got control of the ship." Or hey, while you're out there, can go blast the stormtroopers.
Yeah,
Or
go
not the dark troopers that are floating in space. Well, they're the ones that are out there just taking a nap before they make the dramatic re-entrance. Hater.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm a gatekeeping, hating, toxic, asshole.
I'll admit it proudly.
Yeah, I will too. Like, if hating this show makes me a hater, then okay. If liking this show makes you a retard, then okay. Like, that's as simple as, if I get called a hater for hating it, then I'm going to call people that like it fucking retards, because the only way that this can get by you is if your brain is literally turned off. You've got to be dumb as fuck to like this. Speaking as
Or
dumb
just
as
have
fuck.
really, really, really bad or low standards.
Yep.
I wouldn't say necessarily dumb, just low standards or expectations.
No. If I'm getting called a hater for criticizing it, then I'm going to call the other side, the ones that like it, the worst thing that I can sort of call them, which is tarded.
Okay. You do you.
Mm-hmm. I will.
Like I said, I'm not going to pussyfoot around it. I'm a gatekeeper. Get out.
Yep. Well, I kind of made that point in my rant video. It's our responsibility just as much as anybody else's to make sure that the canon stays true and all of this kind of stuff, which involves essentially being a gatekeeper, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, it's like if you're going to have such low standards for the stuff that you consume, then why do you feel like you need to have a voice in it? Like, if you're just going to accept it anyway, like, then just shut up and accept it, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Oh, it's only gatekeeping if you don't like what others like. I've noticed.
Well, yeah, it's convenient.
So yeah, again, it was nice seeing Luke Skywalker, not as a piece of shit, not as a bumbling idiot milking fucking sea cows for blue milk. It was nice seeing like him with his green saber kicking some butt, but the writing's horrible, the storyline's horrible.
Well, I just hope Baby Yoda doesn't have a bad dream.
So now Moff Gideon's got what he needs, but he's also captured.
Oh, he'll escape or whatever, or there'll be
Dark
some
Troopers,
corruption in the
all of his Dark Troopers are now wiped out. He's got no Dark Troopers anymore. They're done, unless he's got more of them somewhere. I'm sure they'll just find a way to push some more Dark Troopers in there or something for season 3.
Lord Vader, I wish I had the power to gatekeep, because I absolutely would.
I'm still wondering where the gate is.
Yeah,
I
don't control the gate. I mean, the only gate I control is the people that I choose to interact with, and I will gatekeep that proudly, and everybody should.
Not get a notification.
Proudly.
YouTube's been really retarded. I've been having this issue recently where I'm typing into the chat, like I'm on a live stream, I'm typing into a chat, and all my spaces in between my words disappear. Like, it just becomes one big word, and you can't almost make out what it says. It's like almost like a hashtag, but it's weird. I've been having some real issues. Watching videos or streams, and the screen just goes black, but I can still hear all the audio. That's been another one. Sorry, I completely derailed the conversation there. Yeah, gatekeeping. You're all gatekeepers. We're all gatekeepers.
Yeah, I think Mara was attacked by Mandalorian fans simply for saying that, hey, the EU had done this first.
Well, of course you're going to get attacked, because basically what Mara's implying by that is, why did they throw out the EU? And I'm now criticizing something that you like, basically by saying this was done by somebody else. Why are you giving this person credit, sort of thing? And that's where that's coming from. Nobody deserves some of the shit that people have had said to them, especially somebody like, I've seen a couple of things said to OG Star Wars that really shouldn't have been said. I've seen some things said to you, Stig. I've had some things said to me that shouldn't have been said.
It seems a lot of people have seen stuff said to me, but I haven't noticed it. So I've missed it. But I see a lot of shit being tossed at Alora and Mara, and stuff, and it's from the same people that got pissed at sequel trilogy fans for telling them they were haters a few years ago.
Yep.
So it's interesting how it's now gone full circle.
Steve, I think with you, I'll be honest. I mean, I don't know you super well, but I think I can say that you probably see it. You just don't notice it because you're not weak, and you don't like if somebody says, fuck off, Steve, you're like, well, fuck you too.
It's okay. You're
not a professional victim.
No. If people want me to fuck off, say it. I'm still not going to fuck off, but it's okay to say it. And sometimes a lot of people will say stuff in anger that they don't really mean. But what's been happening to Alora? Yeah, what's been happening to Alora though, and all that's downright almost systematic harassment.
Yeah, that's right. Soul Assassin, they become the very thing they swore to destroy.
Yeah, and it's very interesting that it's the same people who were praising Alora just a few months ago when she was ripping into the High Republic. And that same thing goes for Stephen Wayne, because when he was correcting the High Republic artwork, people were behaving like they couldn't suck his dick fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden he is criticizing the Mandalorian in the same way. They turn on him big time.
Yeah. I find it funny that the last 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, I must admit, have probably been the worst written episodes of The Mandalorian, but yet have received probably the most praise.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. Hello, Drunk 3PO. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it, mate. Really do. I want to move on to something. It's now 3:10 in the morning. I do want to try and wrap this up pretty soon, but there is one more thing that I do want to talk about. And basically, I'm not too sure how many people in the chat have seen the rant video that I did. Basically about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and Darth Vader, coming back for that. For the rematch of the century.
Yeah,
now
we both know will end in a draw.
Correct. Now, I did do a follow-up video to that, essentially referring to a couple of tweets, and it revolved around a tweet that Star Wars Theory put out. And then somebody said in the comments trying to help justify how Luke... Did you see that one, Stig, that somebody was saying, oh, what if they were in a space battle and Vader didn't sense Obi-Wan and all this? Oh, I'm just like, man, you're so dumb. Obi-Wan never left Tatooine. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to go into. I wanted to show this really quickly. So I put out those 2 videos, and then I see this when I wake up this morning. We're going to have a quick listen to this 1-minute clip from Star Wars Theory's stream.
Hayden will be returning as Darth Vader. This will be the rematch of the century. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Can that reaction seem any less genuine?
We already knew this as soon as they announced it. I mean, Ewan McGregor said it earlier.
Ewan McGregor said it. Kathleen Kennedy said it on the day. She announced it. She said this is going to be the rematch of the century in a drug-toned fucking announcement.
And now all of a sudden he's completely surprised.
And just the other day, the video that I originally tagged him on, he was saying how he can't wait to see the dynamic between Vader and Obi-Wan and all this kind of stuff again. We'll go back and we'll actually listen to that one as well.
The rematch. Hold up. Is that what that?
Now, I just want to point out that last week on the Full Aussie Orange Hat, I appreciate you, Orange Hat, but last week Orange Hat made a comment. I was having a go at Star Wars Theory, and he was saying, Con, the guy's a nice guy, give him a chance. And I said, no, fuck him, right? And this is exactly why. He shills for Disney Star Wars. And then when something gets pointed out to his attention enough, it then becomes a big enough point that he has to actually say something about it. And that's how I see this, because
into it. It was such an incredible journey playing Anakin Skywalker, said Christensen. Oh, wait, hold on. Of course, Anakin and Obi-Wan weren't on the greatest of terms when we last saw them. It will be interesting to see what an amazing director like Deborah Chow has in store for us all. I'm excited to work with you, and again, it feels okay. So it's not just wow. Okay, so it's not just separation of like, okay, what Obi-Wan's going through, and then let's see what Anakin's going through as Vader. We could even see them together again.
I'm sorry, but that wasn't my reaction as a Vader Anakin fan when I heard that news. My reaction wasn't to sit there and go, okay, that doesn't sound too good.
I've seen part 1 and 2 of your reaction to it. It was completely different.
Right?
Just slightly.
Just slightly different, you think? Yeah. Now, that's the first thing. Now, that came out today. Now, I want to show you, this was, my second video was based on this. Let me just pause here, go back, and we'll share my screen again. Sorry, while I do this. This was just a few days earlier, essentially on the day of the announcement, I think, or a couple of days after.
People think Mandalorian's a huge show, blah, blah, blah. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show is going to crush numbers and set records, I think, for any show.
No, it won't, because they won't show us the numbers.
I really
Listen.
stand by that. I think this show is going to be something that's going to bring so many people together because it's about one of the most important characters, not just in Star Wars, but in pop culture.
Pooh.
Right? Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't really get bigger than that. And then the fact that you're putting Darth Vader in there as well. So now we're going to get this dynamic between what Obi-Wan is going through, portrayed and played by Ewan McGregor, and then we're also going to get Christensen and seeing everything he's going through as Vader. It's a dream come true, man. It's a dream come true.
He seems to forget the fact that episode 7, 8, and 9 made Kenobi and Anakin pointless.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to make
there's
the
no-
point that this is his reaction to Kathleen Kennedy saying the exact same thing that he read. It's like selective hearing or something. Like some fucking bullshit's going on here. It's like the fraud in the fucking election. The fucking...
Don't get that's a no-no on YouTube now. I'd just like to point out, as far as Hayden Christensen going back, like I'm glad that he's going to be part of Star Wars again. However, to come back as Darth Vader in the suit is kind of pointless. Is he going to do Vader's voice? Then it's like he'll be. Maybe he's in the suit. Like, would we even really know?
And he's probably taking his helmet off.
Or is he going to take his helmet off more than the Mandalorian? That'll piss Pager off.
But hang on, if
Darth Vader gets to take his helmet off.
But if he takes his helmet off, doesn't that kill him? Doesn't Luke establish that at the end of Return of the Jedi?
No, because he has that chamber on the...
Yeah, that's true. The meditation chamber. No, you're right. I did know that scene. I was just curious on whether or not that line at the end of Return of the Jedi really makes a difference on whether or not he can just take the helmet off at any stage.
I think the Emperor's lightning damaged his suit to unrepairable levels as well. So I think even the reason that he died, nothing can stop that now. It's basically when he took all that lightning charge from Palpatine when he picked him up, because you see him, he's fucking lit up with the sparks and shit. That fried all of his life support systems, basically.
Yeah, and
it certainly would have had to screw with him.
Yeah, and Vader was basically failing at that point anyway, because that's why Palpatine wanted Luke, because Vader's health was deteriorating. He was not in his prime in episode 6.
And his rage was keeping him alive in the suit. I think absent that rage, that would also have an effect as well. That's not something that he probably could channel the light side version of that in order to sustain his life as well. So, I mean, there's a number of reasons why Vader died, but you could, I guess, have him. So what are you going to shave Hayden Christensen's head and put it in a Vader mask in the hibernate? Once he's in the suit,
you are full of hate. Is this dude's response to my retweets to my retweet? You are full of hate. Yes, I'm full of hate because they fucking destroyed this shit.
Yeah.
Not because I hate Star Wars. I hate what Star Wars series done because fucking...
It's righteous anger.
It's exactly right. Thank you. Fuck off, cunts.
Yeah, a few months ago, I did a throwaway comment saying he was a bit of a shill now. 4 people, I think, were sending me links to his videos and, skip to this and that minute. He's being critical of Disney here. And I'm like, yeah, but not quite the same, is it?
No. Whatever. These fucking people are dumb as fuck.
Yeah, he's trying desperately to hold on to it.
You really think that I want to hate Star Wars? Do you really think that I want to hate it? Really? I mean, anyone who knows me, you two on the panel, do you really think I want to hate Star Wars?
No. Holy shit. For anyone watching that thinks that, a while ago, I told Rhino to read a Darth Maul book. He did. He was completely excited, and so excited that he started reading it again right after.
Yeah.
That's not someone who's hating.
I'm already halfway through it, the second read through.
Yeah.
No. sometimes those comments can be a little hard to ignore, especially when you're getting it from a lot of different angles. There's a lot of nice comments out there, and I do appreciate all of those. Lady Terriel was one that I always remember commenting on my videos, and there's a lot of you. Daniel, Blake, all of you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate all the support and all the love that you do throw towards me and my videos. But, sometimes it can be a little hard to ignore, a comment like that where they just come out and go, this guy's just full of hate. Like, no.
Well,
no.
Ignore it.
Not it at all. Not it at all. It's heartbreaking, and it's destroying my love for Star Wars. And
only thing that kind of pisses me off is the hypocrisy when I see, people that Mora and myself and OG have supported for, over a year and helped them build their channel and, gone out of our way to help and support, right? They just turn on you for not liking The Mandalorian. Makes me kind of think, hey, maybe I shouldn't have supported this person because this isn't completely genuine, is it?
Yeah. See, that's where I see Star Wars theory is that after Rise of Skywalker, it became disingenuous. I'm sorry. He can sit there and he can bawl his eyes out over this last thing, right? And he can, I've said it before, he can like what he likes and he can put his opinions out there. But it's not hateful for me to come out and say that's a stupid take, right? And give my reasons on why they're stupid. It's not just a matter of me just going, this is dumb as fuck. It's me going, this is dumb as fuck, and this is why it's dumb as fuck. This guy literally a couple of days ago was saying how he's so excited to see the dynamic between Vader and Obi-Wan and how this series is going to break records and everything. And then a couple of days later, he reads the article of the transcript or whatever of somebody saying that it's going to be the rematch of the century. Did he not hear that? Did he just?
It was in the announcement itself, literally.
No, that's what I'm saying. And he watched those. He watched it, right? Yeah. This guy, like I said, I mean, he's lost subscribers. He's gone from 3 million to 2.5 million subscribers. I did notice that today. But I mean, he's still got 2.5 million subscribers. It's 2.5 million people that he's saying, this is good. This is what we want. Right. And there's people sitting there agreeing with him because the influencer thing does work. It does happen. Right. If he is willing to able to justify these things in any form that then goes, oh, yeah, that could make sense. Right. It's like somebody saying, what if Darth Vader and Obi-Wan go and meet on Dathomir and they have a fight on Dathomir? I brought this up in my second rant video. If they go to Dathomir and have a fight, first of all, it is going to end in a draw. Secondly, the amount of hate that Vader has for Anakin, that Vader has for Obi-Wan, he wouldn't be going back to the Death Star and just waiting for him. That conversation that takes place between Tarkin and Tarkin going, surely he's dead by now, that would only be 9 years after they meet again. Right? It's like, what does that line mean now? It's only been 9 years. Surely Obi-Wan's dead by now. And he goes, don't underestimate the power of the Force. It's only been 9 years since they last met if they have a rematch to that moment. Like, Vader wouldn't, but again, back to my point, Vader wouldn't wait. He would hunt down Obi-Wan, kill him, find him obviously on Tatooine. Obi-Wan should be hiding himself, hiding his abilities so that he can't be sensed, so that he can't be found, so that people in the Empire don't go, oh, there could be a Jedi in this region because all of this stuff keeps happening.
Well, what happens, and I didn't want to spoil this, but I feel like I'm going to have to, just so you can keep this straight. What happens is Vader goes to Tython, and he accidentally sits on the rock, which sends out the beacon. Then Obi-Wan's like, ooh, I better go rescue another Jedi. I better help him get back into hiding. And then that's where they fight. It's not on Dathomir, it's on Tython. Because Vader accidentally has a seat on the rock. It'll be in a comic book, don't worry about it.
And I would completely say that's incorrect. I'm sorry, but the Snyder people did cop it.
Yeah, Snyder Cut
Yeah, they
fans
did.
got holy shit. I mean, people that are all about fandom and shit, they turn on the Snyder Cut people.
Oh, in a flick, like just for the clicks,
yeah.
I think, and it was just for the clicks.
Yeah.
It was like that was the moment for me that made me start to think, hold on a second, the Phantom Menace isn't quite what it began to be.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Isn't that, to be considered a huge win for fans, though? It doesn't matter which franchise. I mean, the fans were listened.
Now, can I just say, to that point, people would say the same thing about this, The Mandalorian. This is what people want. But I would say this isn't really what people want. It's the flashy lights and the this and the that they're seeing, and it's the Force Awakens. If you say that the fans wanted the Force Awakens, I don't think that's necessarily true. So I kind of look at it and go, people could say the same thing to us. The fans want this, and Disney's giving the fans what they want. Even Lethal was making that point on the Full Aussie last week. They are giving the fans what they want.
Well, I think there has to be like some bar or some standard that you go like. So if you take a property and you completely butcher it and abandon one fan base to pick up another one, I don't know if you can necessarily. Well, that's what the fans want. Because for example, they
you don't
did
need to
that
apologize. It's fine. Some things you miss, some things you see, some things you don't. Yeah. Sorry, Greg.
Like, imagine if they did that to, Barbie. And you're going to make a new Barbie cartoon, and she's now, like, G.I. Barbie, and she's a psychopathic, slutty killer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's just a nut job, and, like, some people like it, and then they go, well, that's what the fans want. See? They're fans. They wanted it. Well, okay, go make that on your own without wrecking Barbie. Just as an example, I think there's a limit, and I guess you could say that if you really dislike Zack Snyder's vision for the DCEU, maybe that it's harder to translate it. I would also say that like within the DC universe, there's already like it's a comic book titles and comic book superhero stories are different than Star Wars. Yeah. They've had reboots galore. They've completely reconfigured and redone backstories for a lot of these characters. So there's already a lot of iterations of this out there. Like prior to Disney, there was one Luke Skywalker. There wasn't a Luke and then a Jake. There was one Star Wars and it had a standard.
Mm-hmm.
And I say just holding it to that standard is like. I look at the Mandalorian, and what frustrates me is like the things I'm criticizing the Mandalorian for. It's the same things I criticize the sequel trilogy. Like I didn't change.
Me too.
My attitudes didn't change going from the sequel trilogy to the Mandalorian. They stayed the same.
Yep.
Like if I'm arguing about the Holdo maneuver and the stupid quicksand and Return of Rise of Skywalker. All the dumb things that they did in the sequel trilogy, I'm pointing out the dumb things that they're doing in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's the exact same points.
Yeah. Yep. I'm staying consistent.
Me too.
They're not.
But yeah, now I'm the hater.
Yeah.
And I'm holding it to the same standard.
I just want to say to this, essentially, yes, it is a longer directed cut of the movie, but the cut that they're bringing out is apparently supposed to be changing the whole concept and plot of the movie. So I think it's going to be, despite the fact that it is, again, I think the original cut that came out, the one that we got, had barely any of Snyder's actual scenes in it. So
we've heard varying percents, but it's at least half the movie wasn't original.
Yeah.
Just to be on the safe side.
I'm not a massive I enjoy Batman, I enjoy Superman, and I'll watch it and I'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah,
but I'll be enjoying it from probably a normie perspective. I'm excited for it because it's going to be 4 hours of a Batman, Superman, superhero kick-ass movie. I don't know. I'm a bit normie on that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
Celeste Epic, one thing I will clarify is, like, if your only complaint about the sequel trilogies was quote-unquote wokeness, I think you can be consistent and like The Mandalorian, I think, up until this last episode.
Yeah.
But that's not... I didn't hear a whole lot of that was the only thing that people had a problem with the sequel trilogy.
Well, we got blamed for hating it because of wokeness. We got blamed for hating it because we just hate seeing a female lead. No, that wasn't actually the problem.
Yeah, most of us were saying, like, no, it's not just the wokeness.
Yeah.
It's the fact that the wokeness led you to make a whole bunch of terrible writing decisions. Now, your motivations might be better in The Mandalorian, and you're trying not to do woke things, but if the end result is still shitty writing, it's still shitty writing. It's still like a story that doesn't make sense or is just very superficial, and there's just no meat to it.
I need more sleep for sure.
So, I feel like I've been staying pretty consistent. Like, and you know, I rip on, like, I think I'm consistent all the way to things like, yeah, teddy bears beating stormtroopers in Return of the Jedi is fucking garbage. It's stupid. I don't use that as a justification for stormtroopers forever sucking now in all of Star Wars, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good enough excuse.
There was a couple of stormtroopers, not all of them.
I will say one other thing about the consistency thing is, like, even the EFAP guys, they have always been consistent on how they criticize stuff. And they're being attacked themselves for criticizing Mandalorian in the same way that they break down Batwoman, the same way that they break down everything that they watch. And I love the way Mauler edits his videos because he made a point in one of his where the person was saying, these guys never shut up, so they miss everything and blah, 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 blah. And then Mauler goes, well, hold on a second. In this one episode of Batwoman, when the scene actually meant something, we all shut up. And he cuts back to that, and you can actually see them. And they're just like, you can't see them, but you can hear them. They're not saying a word. They're listening to the scene. They're watching the bit. Anyway.
Yeah, but if that's been your complaint about Mauler's videos, then go watch the Jedi, the EFAP mini on the Jedi, the chapter that's called The Jedi.
Yeah, I watched that one too.
Because they're actually pretty kind to it. Much more kind than I would have been.
Much more kind than I have.
And it wasn't nearly as long. They weren't commenting near as much. There's, like, you can tell if you're familiar with the episodes, like, how much they're skipping over before they get to the next comment section. So clearly, like, there's pockets of it where they were engaged. The thing is we're not watching them watch when he does the EFAP minis. It's not us watching them watch the episode all the way through from start to finish.
Correct.
He cuts it down in size, so it's, you know, it isn't the full length of the episode. I mean, they talk quite a bit beforehand and then afterwards. So, like, when they do a 40-minute mini EFAP, they're not covering 40 minutes of The Mandalorian. They're covering probably like 15, 20 minutes tops.
Well, they're going for about the first 20 minutes. They're going through comments from, like, the previous episodes review that goes out.
And I really like the EFAP mini format.
The format's great. The format is fantastic. And those guys, again, they're very smart dudes. We've said that for a long time. And now all of a sudden, because they're criticizing The Mandalorian, because it's The Mandalorian, they're now copping the hate and the attacks and things like that.
So again, I think for
it's
some
so
of
funny.
the Spider-Man takes.
It's so funny. Everybody that stayed consistent in regards to their criticisms of Disney Star Wars seems to be getting attacked now. A lot of them do. And again, for me, it's been small because I'm not very big or anything like that. I think after my last 2 videos, I've definitely copped a few more. I mean, how many dislikes have I got on this stream now? Oh, it's 2. It was 4 earlier. Funny as.
Oh, I'll down about it. Just a second.
No, I want the downloads to be genuine, you know, fucktards.
Did you see what happened to me when I criticized the Ahsoka and Maul fight?
Sorry, what was that? Good on you, Greg.
Did you see what happened to me when I criticized the Ahsoka and Maul fight in the Clone Wars?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
20,000.
Yeah.
20,000 angry
all you have
comments.
to do is cut the
all the
beam.
retweets
And
and
it was a true statement. It's a
Yeah.
It was a very true statement.
I hadn't hashtagged anything. I hadn't tagged any people. I just made the comment while watching the episode, which ironically, I actually liked the episode. Nobody asked me that. So this sort of hysteria is nothing new, you know. But it was interesting to see a lot of people having made the same argument I did in the fight with Rey and the throne room thing. Yeah, they had used the same arguments as I did, but since I directed it at Ahsoka, people lost their shit, which was oh yeah.
Well, look, guys, I appreciate you all being here. It's now 3:30 in the morning for me. I think I'm going to wrap this up. I've pretty much talked about everything that I wanted to talk about tonight. I definitely at least wanted to just talk about that Star Wars theory thing at the end there. Because again, like I said last week, people are telling me to give this guy a break. I'm sorry. I can't give this guy a break. Not after, the things that he said before the Rise of Skywalker, what's happened since the Rise of Skywalker, how much it just doesn't make sense to me. So I wanted to make sure I got that out of the way, and I'm glad that we got through this entire episode. Sorry, Steve.
I kind of I don't mind the guy, but I kind of regret harassing Disney a bit to get them to re-upload his fan video a year ago.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that now.
Ahsoka fans are worse than Reylo or stands?
Yeah, they are. They are way worse.
They are.
Go look at their fan art. It's worse.
And I was an Ahsoka fan, and I'll admit that. I like in my heart, I still have a bit of a soft spot for Ahsoka, but how much she's been used, and in the episode that she was in, I definitely thought that she was out of character, especially in the way that she attacked Mando. That's not very light side or Jedi of her, and that's my opinion. Again, people are allowed to disagree with me, but anyway, I've gone through all of that. I want to wrap this up. I'm sorry,
you're allowed
guys.
to be wrong.
Yeah. I'm also allowed to be right on the fact that, I feel like they've overused her. She probably should have died at either Order 66 or by Vader in Rebels in that moment, whatever. Anyway, again, thank you guys. Stig, thank you for coming by again. I really appreciate your opinions, especially with your knowledge of the EU. I love having you here for these conversations. Thank you. And please.
Well, the thing is, they don't really break the EU that much because the EU is gone. They steal from it, sure, but they're breaking their own canon, and that's pretty much every argument we've made today. Is they're breaking continuity with Rebels and Clone Wars and everything else, right?
Yep.
Yeah. G'day, what about? Sorry, we're about to wrap up. Hopefully you can go back and watch this, and I didn't get it struck and taken down worldwide, but we'll see what happens. I did play a few clips, so I hope it doesn't, but we'll see how it goes if you want to go back and watch the whole thing. Stig, please tell the people where they can find you, and if you've got anything coming up. Have you got a top 5 coming for us anytime soon?
I've had people tell me to do a top 5 Christmas thing, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Who knows?
Top 5 gifts that'll get you slapped by your wife.
Yeah, something like that. And
that's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be maybe on Sporking's channel on Monday, talking about Game of Thrones Book 2. Cool. And then we're not doing Coffee Chat next week on Alora's channel because it's Thursday and that's Christmas Eve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose we should do some shopping.
Yeah, so I'm not doing anything.
Cool. Maybe we'll stream.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on. I completely
no worries.
Talking to both of you, and Indiana Jones quiz on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm the reigning Indiana Jones champion. Actually, I won the
You
last
You are.
pure luck, but this
Yeah.
time
This one.
I'm going to defeat Mara Jade
Not
at Indiana Jones 3.
gonna like that.
Last
Did you hear
Crusade.
that?
Last Crusade.
Did you hear that, Mara? I'm coming for you. You're the disease and I'm the cure. Or something.
Gauntlet.
Something like that. Thank you, Stig. Thank you. Please all go and subscribe to Stig so we get another top 5. They are enjoyable. Number 37 is always in there. And semi-bisexual Tuscan Bob. Do we have a Tuscan Bob to end on tonight?
I did
Or-
upload it.
It is uploaded.
I finished it as we, I finished it as we were streaming. Because I was
Awesome,
pretty close to
awesome,
the end
awesome.
anyway.
I'm going to bring that up. Please let everyone know where they can find you. And of course, thank you for coming by.
Just Lost Jedi 22 on at Lost Jedi 22 on Twitter and Parler, and channel name's Lost Jedi. So
Awesome.
probably
Please go.
now that Mandalorian's over for a while, I don't know what I'm going to do for as far as like a weekly video. So I might dip back into Star Trek. I'm not sure. I haven't even watched the last 2 episodes though, so I need to catch up on it. That's how into the story I am for the current season of Discovery.
All I know about Star Trek is that it's painful right now for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for coming by. I love your takes as well. I think we're all sort of on the same page, so it makes the conversation a little bit easier. I don't mind I don't mind another opinion coming in. It might be a little bit different to ours. I mean, we've had No Cookies on, and she's enjoyed it and all of that sort of thing. And I don't mind those people coming on, but I don't know. They don't seem to like coming by anymore because we don't like the Mandalorian. Anyway, we will move on to this. Thank you all in the chat. Let's see. We got Justin, we got Mitchell, we got we have Mara, Justin, Jedi Lukey. If I've repeated you, then it's because my head hurts. Lord Vader, Chris, Lethal, Lost Jedi, Lady Teriel, Celestial, Epic, thank you. Blake, all of you guys, Jonathan, Will, all of you. I know Daniel was here earlier, Sporking earlier. All my guests that I had on, there was Greg, Jeff, Tim, and Stig. Thank you all for being here. Soul Assassin, thank you, man. And everyone, have a good night. I will leave you with good old Tuscan Bob. You got audio, right?
Yep. Are you playing at this 1.5?
Why is it going too quick? I don't think so. I haven't sped anything up. Where is that?
Oh, playback speed normal. I thought there was longer pauses for those guys. Sorry. Go ahead.
I think this is your longest one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Yeah.
This is true, though. There was a distinct lack of security given that Mando had warned them before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm snorting. I'm so tired. I was waiting for that. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tuscan Bob. Awesome. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night. And I nearly clicked leave studio, which would have been bad to leave that on there. Good night, everyone.